All right. I think we're live. Pretty sure. Possibly. Always gotta wait till I hear myself coming back. All right. I think we're live. We are live. Okay, we have succeeded. This is not, I understand this looks like a day stream. I understand it's the evening time. I get that. It's you, Avery. But I was tired. Couldn't think of what I wanted to react to. Really wanted to react to Tim Pool with Jubilee, but if I'm gonna do that, then Jubilee's like super litigious, so either Maryland Bingo has to be pulled up the entire time, or I have to like download it and like change it enough so that it doesn't get like picked up by Jubilee's like content stuff. It apparently goes disastrous, which of course Tim Pool and Jubilee surrounded. Tim Pool can't even handle, like, I don't even dislike Tim Pool, but Tim Pool can't handle like a couple. Like, he can't handle like one booked up like liberal or leftist, let alone like having like 20 people surrounding. Like, he's the worst. Why would you ever do that to yourself, Tim Pool? So I can only imagine it goes absolutely disastrous for him. It's got to be worse than the Dave Rubin one even, which is saying a lot. But like I said, if I try to just react to that without like substantially shifting everything, I'll get omni-fucked. So I'll have to work something out, because I do want to go over that. And usually they mostly just pick up the video and not the audio. So if I change enough of it, then it should work. Cheese clap sword, one vote. One vote, Avery. Probably from your freaking subjective ass. One vote. Probably from some gay liberal that's like, well, no, I don't want objective morality to exist, so I'm gonna vote no. Even though I don't understand what's happening. It probably was you, Avery. That's a good thing about being in one vote. I can just pick anyone, I can just blame them. So it's probably your fault. It probably actually is. And even if you say you didn't vote, then you prevented a tie. So either way, I think I can blame you unless you voted for me, which you probably didn't. So it's just your fault. It's just your fault. Also, Voltaire's wife's fault for not figuring out how to vote. It wasn't that he watched it. There we go. So it is your fault that we didn't tie. Because if you were there and you chose to vote for me, then we would have tied. So you see what I did there, Avery? It's still your fault if you think about it. And you must. But yeah, I'm like super tired today. And I could, besides the Tim Pool thing, I was like, I don't know what the frick to react to or to watch. But I didn't want to take like a second day off in a row. I felt that would be like a little untoward. So here we are. We're just doing a day stream. Something I can at least, you know, at least commit to doing. Hold on, are you targeting me because I like men? Are you discriminating based on my... Absolutely. I'm discriminating based on your actions, okay? Based on the actions you have chosen to take. You're damn, so I was gonna say you're damn straight, but you're not damn straight, but you're damn correct in what you're saying. Well, who goes there? Who's joined with us?
It'd be me.
Hey, Big Soda, how's it going?
Going good.
I know, K2, you want baseball fluids. I understand. That will have to be next week. It'll have to be next week. I couldn't get that set up for what's going to be a not a super long stream.
When you go and do it, just try and get an emulator for the old one instead of having to go through and buy the new one or fuck around with the new one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see what is easier because yeah, I want to pay all that moolah, of course.
I mean, I believe it would be a PS1 emulator, PS2 emulator.
Yeah, what system was it on?
I'm about to look it up right
I think
now.
I think I currently have a PS1 emulator already.
$1997, so I'm leaning toward PS1. Oh, PS2. You got a Game Boy Advance emulator?
Yep.
Do you have a GameCube emulator?
I did have Dolphin. I don't know if it's downloaded, but I know how to use it at least.
Okay. Well, either one will work. You probably want to. The easiest one would probably be the Game Boy Advance emulator, but I don't know how different the Game Boy Advance is from like the PlayStation and GameCube.
Oh yeah, it probably will be.
Live on Confluence's channel, here comes Lost to Avarice! Ah!
Hey, Avarice, how's it going?
What'd you think of your clip?
Did you play it on your show?
Yes!
Oh, great. No, I didn't know you played it. You showed it to me. I love it, but I didn't know it was played yet.
What are you talking about? I played it.
When was the episode?
Episode 2. I played it twice.
Oh, sweet. No, I didn't know that. That's great. I haven't checked the second one yet. I've been so preoccupied with my freaking debate that I had.
I even sent you a copy so you could use it, because I'm such a benevolent man.
Oh,
Just
I
a
totally
nice
missed that.
man.
Yeah, it's in your DMs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Confluence is blushing. I am blushing, you know. So honored by Avarice. Oh, I know? No, I don't know. Why would I lie about knowing if it was played on the show? Wow, that's such a weird lie. No, I've only seen episode 1. The Avarice show. How'd the second one go?
I think it went better. I think I'm getting a little bit more structure. But as I make more structure to it, I'm getting more stressed on how to like land it. So, yeah.
So how do you do it? You write down your topics, and then kind of as you're going through them, you kind of know where to go from there.
No, I'm there's like certain criteria, right? Like I want something that's like I want news that's current, right? But I also want news that's not popularized, right? I know that I did like the immigration one, but I had a funny thing with that and I wanted to do it. But like through the great debate, like they were all talking about Candace and Andrew, but like so instead, like I wanted to make sure like people remembered like, you know, the abortion thing just passed and some other things, right? So like I'll have one main topic and then like 2 kind of off topics, the kind of newscast, and then the rest is just to promote really just funny clips and like ridiculousness kind of clips to kind of segue into commercials for all of our crew. And by all of our crew, I mean everybody that not necessarily is Crucible or Crucible adjacent, but anybody that's Crucible friendly. Like, and by Crucible friendly, I don't mean like Crucible crew. Like, I mean like, but people that are like right-wing friendly that are not gonna just fucking mute us because we're like blood sport debating, like like I said, like the original thing when I came to fucking Confluence is like the one thing I respect about Confluence is that he didn't fucking mute me when I went into a back and forth with somebody. It's like the main respect. Like I respect like the anti-tone policers and the people that are going to let us speak, whether they're the right or the left, right? I'll make a commercial for anybody that has treated us with respect. That includes you, Horseradish on the left, Vigilante on the left, you on the mid-right. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, that's true, because even Emmett had that conversation, that long-form conversation with Horse, and I mean, I thought that was a productive conversation.
Yeah, again,
and so I think Horse is like pretty tolerant of the right.
Yeah, and that's what it comes to. It's and again, that's what I'm saying. It's not even about tolerance, it's just about respect. Right? Yeah. I'm not like saying it like fucking Brian Shapiro here. It's about respect, Rob. No, but I'm just saying like it's about like just having respect for even our views. Like if we're going back and forth, why are you going to let the left spurg on us but we can't spurg back? That's not fair. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, fuck the left. No.
Yeah, like especially with people that match energies, right? So and I'm an energy matcher. Everybody knows that.
He wants me to yell at fictional children the way Avarice yells at guests when it's baseball influence. I was getting pretty mad at some of the DEI players on in the game, K2. So I could see myself spurting out a lot if I play the full game.
Oh, dude. So I heard, I got a fun one. There was a dude that came on and he said that doing speed runs like through Mario and doing like little glitches through like how you jump through stuff, you know, those are actually mods. You're modding the game if you do that, and that's called modding.
That guy's retarded. Who said that?
Yeah,
That's retarded.
know, right? Right? Isn't that the most retarded take you've ever heard?
So dumb.
Yeah. Oh, pretty funny.
Well, Compliments loves to mod. He's a huge modder.
I mean, I'm playing a mod right now, to be clear, but yeah, it's doing normal glitches in the base game that you can do on the N64. How is that modding, right? Like all the tricks that they do in speedruns, you can do on a standard N64 with a normal cartridge that you buy from Nintendo. So that is a crazy opinion.
Yeah, the Japanese hate people like you.
They kind of do, because in the Japanese version, it's called the Shindo edition. When they re-released it, they actually took out the backwards long jump. If you've ever seen it, they actually removed it from the game. So they actually were kind of like, fuck this. We don't want people skipping sections.
Are you still able to do that, like like going up stairs backwards, like super fast?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the thing they removed. So okay. It's only in the updated like Japanese. So the original Japanese, you can do it. Anything in America, you can do it. But yeah, when they released the new Japanese edition, they specifically removed like, just that glitch. That's like one of the main changes.
Yeah, they're probably so sick of your community.
Yeah, they're like, fuck these people breaking the game. Okay, this is obviously not the way I'm supposed to do this. There's no way. I don't know if you've been watching Big Soda, but there's no way they expect me to do. Those are called quicksand ledge grabs, okay? Those are asinine. I know this creator. He would not require me to do that. That'd be so retarded.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were just hanging off the ledge.
Yeah, so when you climb, so that's all quicksand, and there's a thing, a glitch, not a mod. This is in the base game too. You can stand on quicksand for like, I think it's like 4 or 5 frames or something like that. And then so if you jump in that time, then you can move slightly and then grab the ledge again. And then so you can traverse quicksand where normally you just auto die if you try to walk. But it's like such bad design to like make you do that for like 3 minutes straight. So I feel like I must be doing that section wrong. There must be like a shell or something, some way to get across that. I have to think, at least.
What's up, Confluence? What's up, Big Soda?
Hey,
What's
Avery.
up, Avery?
How y'all doing tonight? What's up?
Oh, great.
All right, guys. I love you guys, but I got a bunch of people coming in backstage. I got to verify them. So, love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Everybody send the super chat at the Confluence's channel, and make sure you like and subscribe.
Hey, red pilled.
Now let's get back to modding the game.
Let's get back to the modding. Big Soda, do you play? I must have asked you this before, but I know you've played games in the past. But like, do you play games now?
I play an occasional game. Like, I think I'm getting at the age to where I'll turn on a game. Like, I tried to play Baldur's Gate, and man, like, a fun fucking game, but I think I'm just old because it just gets boring after so long.
Yeah, that's starting to happen with me. I download a game and I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to play this, and then I play like 3 hours of it. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, it is. I will say, yeah, it's harder once if I can cross a threshold with a game. Like if I can commit to, let's say, playing like 10 hours, then I'm good.
Confluence.
Hey Ava,
you
welcome back.
You think Candace won?
Yes.
Did someone tell you that?
Yeah.
I think she won rhetorically, and I think she knew more baseline facts of the case, but I think she lost on like her argumentation, and I think she's wrong about everything she said. Yeah, so her entire argument, but I think rhetorically, I actually think that she did way better than I expected. So I actually gave it slightly to Candace, given that the prompt is something that's impossible to prove.
A win or a loss? I just need to know now before I send you a link to Rob's.
I did say I gave her the win by a small margin. I did say that.
All right, I'm giving you a link.
Yeah, because it's all just fans either trolling or giving like fucking devil's advocate arguments. I found just somebody that actually disagrees.
Tyler, are you in a closet right now?
Or you are in a closet.
I haven't left the
Okay, in
closet.
case you want to defend your position there, Confluence, I sent you a link.
Oh my god, like I want to go on Rob Noor and be crucified by the entire Crucible
Yes,
crew.
yes.
Absolutely, I
This
don't
sounds
want
fun.
to do that.
Robin,
Yeah.
I like the sound of
Everyone's gonna
this.
Don't be a pussy.
I was gonna roast the shit out of me.
That's the whole idea. I want to see it happen. Get on here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not on your freaking life.
It's Rob and
Here's
Ryan.
I love you guys. All right, I'll see you
Here's the
around.
funny
Love you,
thing.
bud.
I am not an Andrew Wilson fanboy, but even I admit Andrew Wilson kind of cooked my heart. Like, yeah, sure, he didn't know every exact thing about the case, but he did prove her logic wrong.
I
Like,
will
and
say-
this is coming from someone who doesn't like Andrew Wilson that much.
Okay, so
Like,
I'm not trying to backpedal. Wait, oh, first of all, Testy, thank you for the $2. Would you suck your own
Backpedal
D to stop the
away.
Holocaust? Absolutely, I would, Testy. To stop the
Backpedal
Holocaust?
away.
It's the Holocaust, of course.
Get a nice
Nah, I'm letting him
jog
die.
backwards going right now. Let's hear it. Come on.
So you're kind of saying you can, but you just, you know,
You have a moral ought not to. Good to see you, Egg.
that's it.
But okay, to kind of this is gonna sound like backpedaling, but when
Let's
this is a
hear
bit, the way
Yes,
I'm
it is.
judging this debate is a bit of like a DEI coverage, okay, in a way, because it's like I know this is
EI coverage?
yeah, like I know this is an unwinnable thing, like the prompt of like Tyler Robinson being more likely to be a patsy, that's unwinnable. So I'm not going, when I was going to the debate, I'm not expecting Candace to like win the merits of the case. I'm not expecting that. So I'm kind of judging this as like, this is an insane conspiracy theory. And then so I'm already kind of tempering my expectations on that. So if I'm looking at the debate, did Candace actually convince me or do a better job convincing that Tyler Robinson was a patsy? No, she just basically like asked questions. So, but when I look at the rhetoric of it and how I expected Candace to do versus how she did do, how booked up she was on the case, some of the rhetorical missteps from Andrew, that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Candace. But it's an unwinnable prompt that is stupid and she should have never taken on. So I am judging it a bit in a DEI kind of way.
So you're saying you're using two sets of standards based specifically on the two competitors and their ability and not one objective standard.
Exactly.
So what I said the night you were yelling at me. So exactly what I said.
Kind of, but also I am taking into account like the prompt. Like if it was like, let's say you and me, Tyler, we went on some like, we both agreed to do like a ridiculous prompt where it's like everyone knew that like that the prompt was like almost impossible for me to prove. Let's say I do a really good job, but I don't like convince anyone and my cases are that compelling. I still think it's fair to be like, oh, I did a better job arguing these points in this debate, even though it's like, yeah, did I actually was I able to prove my affirmative claim? No. But if I like, let's say like just blew your back out in some debate, but it just ultimately the thing was so hard to prove, like it's like, let's say I think there's aliens and I know way more about the stuff, I'm making way better arguments, but ultimately it's like, do I end up proving that there's aliens or that there's likely aliens? Let's say I don't. I could still see someone being like, you know, yeah, I think Confluence still like won that debate. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I mean as well.
So when I debated on religion this week, hopefully,
Yeah, basically what Brandon said. I'm not expecting her to meet her burden of the debate prompt she agreed on. Yeah, unironically, yeah, like that's why I said it's kind of a DEI standard that I'm holding here.
So when I debate Emmett, even if he completely destroys me, I'll still, if I win one or two exchanges, I'll still get the win because you're expecting me to do so much worse on religion. Is that how that works?
No, because I know that you're a good debater. I know Emmett's a good debater, and I
And
think the
Candace
prompt.
Owens?
And I
She's
think the
media trained.
You're not a woman and you're not black, so you,
yeah, so you
that
don't get like
count,
either of those
Tyler.
DEI points.
How about if I go get plastic surgery and get my eyes separated by 4 inches before the debate?
Then I'll give you an extra few points. Absolutely. Absolutely. Play to the judge, you know? Man, it would be fire for me to go on Rob's, but I just know it'd be such a bad. There's no way it looks good. There's no way, even for the exposure, there's no way it looks good.
Do it.
It's
Do
gonna
it.
look horrible.
Who gives a shit? It's gonna look great.
There's like
gonna look
900 people
great.
watching right now. It's Law and Order. It's not just Rob. It's Rob and Ryan Mullally. So you're going 2-on-1 against Rob Noir, the great debater, and a fucking lawyer. He's arguing at the Supreme
Do it,
Court level.
Confluence.
Absolutely not. If I had time to prep, I would. If this was planned for like the weekend or something and I had time to like rewatch, take notes and stuff, I think I would, even if I, you know, wasn't convincing to myself. But just out of the gate, no. I'm not gonna remember enough of it, or, you know, I'm just gonna look like an idiot.
Are you having fun playing this?
Yeah, this is a fun hack. I just don't know what to do with this part though. Like, I'm not sure what's with the wall bounce.
You enjoy games where you die a lot, which explains the Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's pretty cool that Ryan comes to me for help with debate prep sometimes, because he's, again, like a lawyer that's argued at the Supreme Court is a pretty distinguishable thing. Like, most haven't. Oh, this fucking juggernaut, dude. Every time I step out of my team, he fucking kills me. He just blinks in and ulties me over and over. Cocksucker.
This can't be how I do this jump. This just can't be.
Yeah, I
you have
think
to,
it's
like,
because we suck.
What if you have to like stay at slur and it like allows you to grab the top?
I think I have to do what's called an Asta triple jump. There's a lot of tech to this game, okay? You can get a triple jump on a small platform, and you can do a little pause buffer to see if you get it. See, y'all don't know my Mario knowledge, okay?
Yeah, the fucking Japanese hate Americans for this shit.
Okay, we got it. No, and then we still go too far away. Yeah, I don't know. Man, I wish Avers did ask me about this Rob Noor thing, because I would legitimately, that would be fire to do, but not without doing a lot more prep. If it's Rob Noor and Ryan McDoodle or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's so close.
I think I'm combining Loodle with which is a different lawyer, with whatever his name is. I thought so. Unless I'm crazy.
I could be wrong, but I think Loodle was our 100th Discord member.
I think so, yeah. Oh gosh, do I just look up a video? Is that cheating?
Yeah, that's cheating. You're already modding it. Don't cheat on top of it.
I didn't make this mod, okay? I mean, what other way? How else would I get up here? Like, that almost has to be the way, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I just jump into this big pit over here instead. Maybe this is all a distraction.
Yeah, maybe you have to be a Patsy.
Because this is the way to, I'd have to get firsties. So a firstie, right, is when you hit a wall kick on the first frame and then you can serve all of your horizontal height. But I'd have to get like 10 firsties in a row, which is like, like, I want to say almost impossible because people can do it, but an extreme Kaizo thing to do. And this is like a light Kaizo. I have no idea.
This is light? That's crazy.
This is light. This is like, this hack is probably like, once I beat it, will be maybe like the 30th hardest hack I've beaten or something. Like, and not even close. There's single stars that have taken me 70 hours to get. That's like how long people spend on like a AAA game. All for 1 star. There's something called Lucid Nightmare Red that's on my channel. That's the hardest thing in gaming I've ever done. And it's not even close. That's the thing that took me, it might have even been more than 70. I think I put like 60 to 80 because at one point I just kind of like lost track of hours.
All right, Confluence. I'm gonna hit you with some Elden Ring lore and see if you know it.
Ooh, I'm ready.
I'm pretty bad. Tyler's probably gonna know it though.
Well, I think Tyler probably already knows it because I've already asked him. Iron Pot Alexander. Why is he important?
Iron Jar?
Iron Fist Alexander. Why is he important?
Lore-wise, I don't know. Like, I'm very familiar with the character and stuff. Like, I like the character a lot. But yeah, the lore of like why he's a pot, and I have no idea.
You don't know why you don't know how the pots were formed? Are you like, you want to debate me on the lore of the game, and you don't even know a basic thing like that?
I want to
See?
debate you on the endings, and I would have to do a lot of research before I was able to
Yes.
take that debate.
Yeah, there's so much you don't know. I was gonna. Oh my god. Did you? So what happened is the shamans. They don't know exactly how the shamans got to the to Middle Earth or whatever the fuck it's called. They don't know how they got there, but they found out the
Middle Earth.
shamans are like a catalyst for synergy. So the horn scent started killing them or like mutilating them and putting them in jars with corpses to form stronger beings. And it was supposed to like emulate the fusion of two people to become one that you see with like America and Radagon, or they say potentially America and the Glow Light Queen, but that's just a theory. And other fusions that you see throughout Saint Trina with Mikola and what's her name was going to get one, but she killed herself. It's prophesied she was going to merge with Godwin the Gold, or Godwin's the son. What the fuck was his name? The one
Godfrey?
No. Yeah, maybe.
Godfrey was the son.
Godric the Grafted, Goldfroy is his friend. Yeah, Godfrey is the son then, yeah. I'm thinking the reason she used him to kill her body was because he was supposed to be the one she merged with to become a god.
So wait, why is Alex, or not, is his name Alex? No, yeah, Alex. Why is Alex a pot?
Yeah. He's a pot because the horn scent took corpses and shamans and combined them in a giant pot over a long amount of time to try to make strong warriors. And they gained their own sentience as a unique being, and then all of them wanted to be strong warriors.
Oh.
And that's why America took revenge against the Horn Scent and betrayed them in the great betrayal that the old crone talks about outside of the Divine Beast boss room. The great betrayal was her betraying the shamans because they massacred her people.
Big Soda, do you know all
I don't
this?
think I don't think you play the game, Confluent.
I don't really
This is
know.
more-
I don't really know the lore. I just like, you know. So if you ask me about like specific boss battles, I'm more likely to know about that, or weapons, or spells.
That's crazy. I
The
got
lore
Keelan
is
with this
kinda-
too.
The lore, like with Souls games and stuff, like Elden Ring is at least a little more in your face. But they're famous for like you have to read item descriptions and stuff. When you pick up an item, you have to like. When you get boss armor, you have to read the description in the menu. Like you have to go out of your way and then like piece it together. Like it's very onerous to like actually do all that.
And not spending 70 hours to collect 1 star.
Almost like
Big
they
Soda
tell you
asks
the
me-
game is a lie. Like when you're
Big Soda-
listening to people talk in the game, half the time they're lying to you. And like that turtle guy somewhat hints at the truth here and there, and like, but otherwise they're lying. Most of the lore that's been figured out has been figured out from like items and like looking at the architecture on the underground buildings in the Nox Temple, and then relating that to where on the planet it would have came from before it was sunken by America's betrayal.
Right. It's like very obfuscated. Hey, Keelan.
Big Soda asks me out of nowhere about Iron Fist Alexander with no context. And he's
It
like,
didn't
oh,
seem
you
like
don't
you
know about
even
him?
knew who he was, Keelan. When I read that, it's like you seem to be like, who's that? You're gonna
Yeah, I was
who's
like-
that?
Yes,
Iron
crazy.
Fist
The
Alexander?
first person I thought of was the jar guy, but I'm like, wait, Big Soda doesn't play Elden Ring.
You didn't know I
why
had
do you
42
why do you know
achievements.
why do you know about this guy, Big Soda?
Because I have 42 achievements.
Do you guys care if I goon here?
If you'd like, I can take my shirt off.
What?
Who is this that joined? I don't recognize his voice.
Just goon away.
God, I fucking hate Brandon.
Was that Brandon?
Oh
Doesn't
my.
sound like Brandon.
I'm using AirPods. It probably sounds terrible. Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon
yeah,
the
you do sound
Mogger?
different.
Is that Brandon the debate destroyer?
That is, unfortunately.
Yeah, Brandon, I want to congratulate you on your 1v3 victory against Confluent, Stillborn, and the other guy.
Even though you did smack
Thanks,
him
guys.
around, I didn't vote for you because technically you guys were fishing too hard for the grounding to attack and not addressing the argument they wanted to present. I think you made the only coherent argument as to why they should give that grounding, but no one else really did, and I felt like they won just based off the debate prompt alone.
Hey,
I think I
Yeah,
agree with you. I
that's
think I hope I don't piss off Testy or the other dude, but I think you guys probably won if I had to score it.
oh shit.
Yeah, I do hope for you, but
That's
again,
very
it's an
anti-base.
individual. If there was an MVP in the DMZ, still you would have won the MVP. But your team did. You fished too hard. You didn't just take the argument that was presented to you and argue it like a good knight's supposed to. You guys just dug in, like, what's your grounding? What's your grounding? And you wanted to argue about God, and they just would not give it to you. Like X.
I didn't have to bring up that shit once.
Yeah, Brandon didn't. The other two were, but yeah, grounding is irrelevant to whether morality is objective. I mean, not irrelevant, but it's not necessary to talk about the grounding.
And that consistent argument.
Do you think that was the best performance? You think you could have done better?
I mean, I think I can always improve, but I think I did my job.
Did I miss the part? Did I miss the part where the affirmative like made an argument for objective morality existing? Because I think Confluence got the closest to saying it seems to exist, and Brandon, you kind of shot down most of the arguments by saying like that doesn't mean objective morality.
Yeah, sure, but like they were fishing for grounding a lot, and I feel like that was a giant waste of time. And I heard Brandon give a couple good arguments, but like consistently, their whole team was consistently delivering a good narrative over and over and over again. So even if he got a couple of wins and smacked a couple of people around, the average of how the majority of the time was spent, I'd say, went to the other team. Just like with Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. That's my exact judgment there too. It's weird.
See, I wish I heard maybe someone go after. Like, I wish I could, and maybe we'll do this at some day. Me and Testy were talking about this. Because the way the format works, right? Like, I got to cross Brandon, but Brandon's get to cross me. We don't have a back and forth, you know? And all this stuff. It's like, I wish, yeah, I kind of wanted, because I felt like, because I was going against MC Hammer, and I felt like there was like, my argument, I think I did a good job handling the cross there, because I don't think he was really going after it. Because even what you're saying, Keelan, it's like, my whole argument is the two components, right? It's that if something seems to be true, if you don't have a reason to doubt it, then you should accept it. And so if it seems like objective morality is true, unless there's a reason to doubt it, we should accept it. I'd want to hear someone like attack specifically one of like those points. Like, what's the flaw there, you know? But it never really got into that. And I understand I'm making kind of a weird argument that requires like a lot of unpacking. Like, I think my opening was probably like too much stuff. Like, I had to like kind of race through it a little too much.
I have a solution for this. I don't understand why this doesn't already exist, but you get these mismatched debates all the time. Why don't they just have ELO ratings for debates?
That's not a bad idea.
Point.
Gibbs does that.
That sounds so awesome, actually.
Gibbs has that for his stream.
That's a really good point.
Because Horse does say that he does say that he tries to match, but sometimes, like in this one, I thought that it was fine and stuff, but well, especially because for this one, me and Testy got to pick our teammates, and then we get to pick the order. So then Horseradish isn't able to do that. But in the last one I judged, if you remember, I mean, I remember Brandon coming to my chat and saying judging on easy mode tonight, because like all three were like just very, I think, mismatched like debate opponents. Like two of them were like brand new to the space. That first one, I can't remember who the guy she was going up against was. Does anyone remember his name? He was like the leftist guy, and he was like pretty good, like pretty knowledgeable about like the all of the Trump stuff, and he seemed experienced in debating, and so like that seemed like to be an entire.
That's the word debated live.
What's his name?
Vince Wilson.
Yes, yeah, and he seemed very experienced, so like. That seemed like a very mismatched pairing, just in my opinion.
That's literally the exact prompt we did too. So like, it was his grudge match against the prompts, but he kind of got smacked around on it in person. So he got to like go back, analyze his argument, improve it, and then go up against some broad who's never debated before.
But yeah, if Horseradish has all of the winners and stuff of the debates, he already has data. He could set up this rating system pretty easily.
Yeah, okay, so I thought about this, but like it really, like a debater, unless you're like an all-around debater, which there are very, very few, and that's why like Destiny, Rob, fucking Andrew, these people that can like go in on almost any subject and actually like hold their own. Those are the people that you could do this for. But like outside of my 4 subjects, I'm fucking terrible. And like, there's a lot of people that I know, if, like, once you get them out their comfort zone, they just, well, I mean, actually, you don't take Rob out of that, because Rob constantly goes back to his comfort zone. So, like...
Well, yeah, but this isn't, like, a rating of how knowledgeable someone is. I think it would be tricky. Like, if you only have 4 subjects you ever debate, and we're saying you're a really good debater, and then you get a subject that you're not familiar with, you should at least still be able to have a coherent debate.
Sure, but when you lack the details, you're at a massive disadvantage. And like, that's like that girl I fucking debated. Like, I can guarantee you, I can run circles around her on certain things on that same exact subject. But that one particular thing, I was clueless and floating.
I actually think that the ELO rating system protects against this sort of thing, because you'll get chess matches where someone has this opening completely prepared, and the exact line you're gonna play, they like go deep in the book on it, just out of nowhere, and you'll lose terribly, but you won't like fall in the rating very much. It would take like consistently losing to go down a tier.
Which is cool and shit, but like, I think like maybe a matchmaking rating for your skill generally, and then like a second rating for the subject you're on, and have to figure out some sort of equation for it, which, you know, you could just have our math expert Kurt come in and just give us
this
one.
already, Tyler, I'm sorry, but this already exists, like the ELO system, I swear to God.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it depends on the system, because if you play Dota, that doesn't exist. You don't pick your character until the game starts. There's just one MMR, but in Deadlock, there's 2 MMRs. The one's based off the characters the character you got selected for you, because you get to pick like 5, or it picks it for you. And then that's also compared to the skill value. So I'm just saying that you can do it right. Yes, it does exist. But you can also
Just do tier list. Be easier.
Am I just like so biased towards chess that I think ELO completely solves this?
No, ELO does completely solve this. Most even matchmaking stuff in MMR is like based on ELO anyway. Like, I don't know if Dota specifically works that way, but like with like a lot of these esports, they call it matchmaking rating or whatever, but it's like it's based on ELO, just like modified a bit.
And ELO is probably based on some other version of scorekeeping, because is chess that old?
Yeah.
Isn't it like an England thing?
Well, so
it's like at least like 500 years old in a modern variation, and it's like thousands if we go back to like Charunga or whatever the fuck it's called, like the chess, like proto chess.
Well, but how long has ELO been a thing?
Only since 19. Oh no, that's Electric Light Orchestra. Hold on, I looked it up. And Electric Light Orchestra came out.
Yeah, it's a guy's name, like it's like John Elo or something. I don't know.
1939.
Well,
but for competitive
and there are different
games, like that's
it.
probably I wouldn't be surprised if that was the original like way of doing that type of like match rankings. Like, I don't know what would precede that. There might be something.
No, there were earlier systems.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they're even
concept.
So like Lichess uses a different rating system than chess.com, which some people say is more accurate. It's just the difference in player bases, I think, is what makes it's something with there's something specific to Lichess, not their rating system, but like rating inflation is the reason why their ratings are higher, but their rating system overall uses a more modern and more accurate version ELO, if I remember correctly.
Why are you staring at these chats?
I don't know if that's true. Like, there's like ELO calculators online that it's like if you're this much and you're this and you're at 1800, you lose to 1600, you will like lose this many points. I think Lichess like maybe the matchmaking, like who you get matched with, could change, or like those elements. But like I thought it uses the same like set in stone, like if you're this, because there's like a formula, right? Like if you based on like likelihood of winning, if your ELO's 1800, someone's 1600, you have you should win this out of however many games.
So I
lose this many points.
I was right, by the way, but
about what
I looked
specifically?
It up. Lichess uses Glico 2, chess.com uses Glico 1, and the difference is that Glico 2 has a rating volatility parameter that tracks how erratic a player's results have been, in addition to the rating deviation that both Glico versions use to measure confidence in a rating.
Right, but
So neither chess.com nor Lichess use classic ELO. They use variations. Chess.com uses Glico. Lichess uses Glico too.
What's the for matchmaking, or for like actually like how many like points you'll lose?
For how many points you lose. Gain or lose.
Okay,
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's something with rating volatility in there. I used to know more about it, but I haven't looked at that since high school.
We ran out of callers. You can go on there now and defend Candace.
Oh God.
Do it, Confluence. Do it. I bet you won't.
Rob's in a good mood tonight. He won't be mean to you.
Do
I'm
it.
just gonna look like an idiot. I'm not prepared enough. I was like half watching the debate. I'd have to like.
Wait.
Well, that's an excuse. That's such
You
an
were that
excuse.
passionate
It is an
arguing
excuse, but
against
it's
me.
going
We all
against
know how
freaking
Kaizo
Rob
feels about
Noor.
getting prepared.
Bro, I have an easy debate strategy. Just define the winning conditions as the things you think Candace won at.
Wait,
Someone already did
what's her first name?
Who? Candace?
Yeah, Candace Dick fit in that mouth.
There it is. That's why I didn't say it. That's why I let somebody else say it.
Got him.
Nice.
I don't know why. I
Confluence
fell
died
for
for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
apparently.
waiting for that.
Rob's not bad. He can get in there easily. I think Ryan's the more intimidating one in this particular subject because he's a fucking lawyer in some goddamn court case. Like Rob likes to go back to like a few, and like when I was helping Lethy prep for his debate with Rob, I was like, he's gonna go exactly back to his fucking comfort zone. He always does. And I like told him these 3 subjects to prep for, and it's exactly what he did. Like he loves his comfort zone. So
I also haven't even seen Rob debate too many times, to be honest with you. So I don't even know what his real strategy would be. I'm assuming it's got to be more pleasant than debating Andrew Wilson. Yeah, to go up against Rob on something he knows way more about me at the last minute when I was invited like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm intimidated. I have no shame saying that. In front of a large live audience, yes, I'm intimidated by that.
I think the best thing that
Yes.
Rob is good at is like the words per minute that he can speak. He can just talk so fast that, you know, it's intimidating.
Gift of the gab.
Yeah.
Yeah, Confluence, you gotta out-gab him.
Currently, you're not.
I can talk pretty fast. I don't know if I can talk Rob's speeds, but if I get heated,
No.
You have the volume. He doesn't have the volume. You just talk over him.
he's pretty loud. I don't know.
Yeah,
Rob
when
can
you get
pretty
when you
loud.
get heated though, you kind of stutter.
He's
a little
loud
bit.
when he gets pissed off.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on his stream call him Diabetes Mickey Mouse.
Oh my god.
I just go in there and just like insult the shit out of him, just be like an absolute jackass, make everyone
In
hate me.
fairness, it was so good he even laughed at it. He was like, "That's pretty fucking good."
Confluence, can you
Yeah.
call into Dean's TikTok live and debate him?
I'll go bring up the allegations against him. I can do that.
Do it while you're in the bathtub too.
Do you know about that, Keelan?
Yeah,
that's
that-
like being spammed all over every single one of Dean's videos currently.
I thought that was old.
Is it old?
Yeah, like months ago when I used to watch it more. Someone talked
Yeah.
about it, so I think it's.
I remember
It's
there was
funny.
one. There was one of a
Oh,
woman.
I just saw a
and
video
I know-
about it like yesterday. Maybe it's an old. Maybe it's a video that was covering something old. I'm talking about the Emily thing. Is that the same thing?
The video is recent.
Yeah, I think people keep bringing it up, but I think the content, like what they're talking about, is old.
I can't tell for the life of me if people are just like. I'm assuming most people are just like clowning on him because he was kind of one of the believe all women thing. I think most people understand that Emily doesn't exist as a, well, she exists, but she's not the person that made the allegations. And I think most people know it's not a real thing, and they're just kind of like clowning on him because he doesn't give people grace with their allegations. That's my hope.
Dean Withers is a piece of shit. Like, I don't like Dean.
Yeah, he is a piece of shit.
You listen to how he talks to people, and it's like
Just gives you
people
the
who
ick.
aren't even people who aren't even being mean to him. He'll start just being rude to them for no reason, and even if they're kind in response to that, he'll continue being rude to them.
Yeah, this is why I say the only like leftist TikToker that I like is like Luke Beasley, because he's respectable. I think he's pretty smart. But like all these other people, like Dean and Parker and whatever the other guy's name is, can't stand them.
Parker pisses me off because he yells into his microphone sometimes, and it's like just too loud. No, I'm not autistic.
There's a few people that do that. It's okay.
You know what, Brandon? Are you still here, Brandon? Brandon's still here.
Yeah, but I'm in the gym. But yeah,
Well, it's okay. You don't have to, as long as you can hear me. So I was so annoyed because I spent the bulk of like my last day's prep, which was like I didn't take a note until the last day. And so when I was like finally like sitting down to like make notes, I put so much effort into non-cognitivism because I could have sworn that you were non-cognitivist because you're always talking about that it's just preferences and all this stuff, and that you said before that when people eat, when you say you define something morally wrong, you mean the same thing as when you say you like vanilla ice cream over chocolate ice cream. I swear you've said that. So I'm like, okay, bro's definitely a non-cognitivist. I don't know if he's an expressionist or
I can clear this up really quick.
Yeah.
What do you take a non-cognitivist to be?
Someone that when they hears these statements, they don't think that they're truth apt because it's not really true. Well, yeah,
Okay.
like it's like
no,
like,
that's
it
right.
could be true that I like chocolate ice cream, but I'm not really like saying anything beyond just expressing my preference toward liking chocolate ice cream. So unless
Oh, right there, you said it's true. It's just what makes it true is a stance.
yes, but I don't
That's
know.
my
But
You're not
cognitivism.
saying by the fact that you like chocolate ice cream that you dislike vanilla. You're not saying that, right? Is that
Well,
what we're saying here?
no. So the thing is, so it's like, so non-cognitivists, the usual thing is that they don't think a moral claim is truth apt. So if you say like it's wrong to murder, they're like, well, I don't know what like wrong is really doing in that sentence. I don't think you can give a yes
Fine,
or no.
wrong.
Yeah, so it's like it's different from like a nihilist. This is why I was asking Brandon about something called error theory, where it's like an error theorist will say all moral statements can be true or false, but they're all just false because there is no morality. So I know what you're talking about if you say murder is wrong, but I just think that statement is false. Murder's not wrong. And so
Well said from, someone that would think morality is subjective, yeah.
yeah, that would be someone, that would be like a nihilist that thinks there is no morality at all. So all moral statements are going to be wrong. To say it's
That's still
wrong or right to
subjective,
do
though,
anything.
isn't it?
Can I give you my view and you stop me when you think
'Cause you'd
we're
have to define
maybe
wrong.
using terms differently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see if I can think through this as my heart is beating. So a cognitivist, I am a cognitivist, so I think moral propositions can have a truth value. And what I think makes those true are going to be stances. That's what makes me a subjectivist or an anti-realist. Because a realist would answer yes to the first question as well. Moral propositions can be truth apt. But they would think what makes them a realist is that they think at least one moral proposition is stance independently true. That's the only separation between your and my view.
Right, but then why? Then I guess why? The thing that I guess gets me is like, then when it comes to like the emotivist, like the emotivist would say, right, the classic example, when you say murder's bad, you're just really saying boo murder, that you don't like murder. But that you could still twist that into a truth apt claim. You could just say that, yeah, it's like, it is, like I said, like it's true. It is true that I'm saying I like vanilla ice cream. That could be false. I could be saying something false, but I'm still expressing a preference. So even though it's a truth apt claim in the sense that, like, yeah, I could say I like I don't like murder, that could be a true statement. That still falls under non-cognitivism, I guess, right? So if you're saying that, if you're making the comparison that when you say, all I mean when I say I don't like murder, I just mean I have a preference against murder, then it sounds like you're either being like a prescriptivist, emotivist, or expressivist, right? It's like, how is that not non-cognitivism then? Like based on at least the previous stuff you said about thinking it's all just preferences.
Because when we replace what a proposition means, like X is wrong, with what I mean, and what I mean is I have a preference against X, that is a truth app statement. A non-cognitivist wouldn't say that's what they mean when they say that X is wrong. They would say, what I mean by X is wrong is boo.
So wait, you use
boo can't be true or false. What I'm saying can be true or false.
You use your truth app to say you hate X?
Wait, say it again?
Even saying something like X is boo is subjective, right?
I heard that you hate X and Elon Musk, and you're using
You could
truth.
say X equals ba.
I know Tyler's saying something funny, but I can't hear him.
I said you hate X and Elon Musk, and you're using Truth Social. That's what I heard.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
So are you
The first
saying
time wasn't as funny?
Are you saying it wouldn't be emotivism if you instead of saying boo murder, if you said, hey, when I take a moral claim, if I hear you say, murder is bad, I all I hear by that is you don't like murder, but that is a truth app statement because either the person likes murder or they don't. But so are you saying emotivists they have to just stick with the boo murder? They can't just twist the proposition and be like, okay, when you're saying that, what you're really saying is you don't like murder. Like that feels like basically the same as saying boo murder, right?
I don't
like, what
think
do we mean
no,
when
because
we say boo murder? We mean I don't like murder.
No, well, then you are just using those terms synonymously, but I don't think a non-cognitivist would say that boo murder and I don't like murder mean the same thing.
What could possibly be the distinction?
One is truth apt, one has a subject predicate sort of relation, and one is just expressing an emotion.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just like we're just putting in the form where it just seems like not in a propositional form. But if I say boo chocolate ice cream, it's fair that I think Tyler would say, oh, what Confluence is saying is that he doesn't like chocolate ice cream.
I call you a racist.
You know what I mean? Like I understand I'm not being like philosophically precise, but that's what that's what it would mean if I said boo chocolate ice cream. I would be like, oh, Confluence is saying he doesn't like chocolate ice cream. Like semantically,
that might be
that definition of boo. Like
well, that might be
is good.
Well, that might be an entailment. I'm not sure, but it might be an entailment that if somebody is expressing a negative emotion towards something, that's not truth apt. But what's entailed by that is that they don't like it, and that can be truth apt. I think I'm fine with saying something like that. I'm not sure, but I think you're just saying, well, when somebody says boo murder and I don't like murder, you're just saying those mean the same things, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't know why I would accept that.
Can you find an example where if I say like, well, okay, now that I'm saying this, I guess maybe because let's say I loved shooting heroin, and I'm like, okay, so but I think shooting heroin is wrong. But I'm actually not saying I don't want to shoot heroin. I might be like, I love shooting heroin. I just think it's wrong. So
why didn't you just use the nicotine thing for it
heroin
instead of heroin?
Because I don't think using nicotine is wrong. So I'm trying to think of something that I think is wrong. But
Think about this.
Clip it.
Think about this. Like, let's say something happens to somebody and it makes them really mad, right? So they scream, right? But they're not like conveying any sort of meaning. They're just expressing an emotion. Now, they may also dislike the thing that happened to them, but when they screamed, that didn't necessarily mean that what they meant by the scream is, I don't like that. I don't know why that would be like entailed or mean the same thing necessarily. Does that make sense? I feel like that was a good explanation.
Sense. I get what you're saying.
It makes sense, but like, not the only thing I get with the boo thing, because like, I just can't think of another reason besides like, The only thing I could see is what I'm saying is that there could be things that you find immoral despite liking them. You could have like a penchant to a certain thing, but still think it's wrong. So you might want to be the kind of person who tortures babies for fun, but you know it's wrong to do that. So then, but that's almost a critique of then saying, that's a critique of the emotivist. And in fact, I think it is a critique of the emotivist, because if I'm
You're not
saying
getting all
there
that out
could
of
be,
Boo, right?
no, I'm just saying there's a distinction
Okay,
between
all right.
saying I think something's wrong and saying I don't like it. But between boo and I don't like it, like I don't know how. Yeah, I feel like that gap is not being bridged for me. If I say like, yeah, if I say boo almost anything, what else would I mean? If I'm like boo the Seahawks, then I mean like that means in that moment I'm expressing that I don't like the Seahawks.
Nobody really likes the Seahawks that much.
So what do you think with my
Yes, I
example?
really claim.
With my example, when somebody screams out in anger, do you think they mean something by that? They're just like, ah.
Yeah, like I think like, yeah, they mean they're angry. At the very least, if they're screaming out in anger, they're basically, yeah, you could semantically say that they're saying I'm angry, right?
Or acting.
If you know, like as long as we have access to like their internal states or something like that, but if we can confidently say they're screaming out in anger, I think it's fair to say, yeah, that scream is connoting I am angry. Just like if you saw someone like lose a loved one and they're crying, I think you could say that their crying is them in some ways synonymous with saying I am feeling grief in this moment. I am sad in this moment, right?
Well,
like it's not they're not making like a propositional phrase, but for all intents and purposes, I think that's like a fair translation. You know, what is language anyway but a series of utterances if you think about it.
I feel like we're looping, but I'm leaving the gym, so I might be back on a little bit. We can pick this up later if you want.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
So yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
I'll be shit posting in the chat.
Okay, you better be. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this?
It's very Jude-coded.
I'll agree.
That's all I got.
Tessie says you're not expressing an emotion. You're expressing an emotion. It's not attached to anything. Well, yeah, but it depends. If let's say I've been working on a project, I'm doing like a craft, and I'm building this craft, and you come and smash it, and I go, ah, then I'm expressing an anger, but I'm obviously mad that you smashed my thing. I feel like I am. To me, that's the same semantic statement as me saying, Testy, I'm so mad that you just smashed this thing I've been working on. We'd all treat it that way, right? Like we'd all treat me yelling in response to that. We'd know why I'm yelling. It's like the same
primal
thing as saying that.
It's very primal,
yeah, it's like a primal encoding of it. And like I said, I'm kind of joking, but kind of being serious. Language is just a series of utterances that we make. So is a scream in rage, if we know what it's directed at, you smash my thing and I scream in rage, is that really different than me being like, me angry? Or if I'm like, I'm specifically feeling the emotion of anger because you smashed my project. All those three things are like saying the same thing, just in like more simple kind of like language, you know? I guess that's what I keep thinking about.
To reference some goy slop, all Groot says is I am Groot, but you know what he's saying half the time because the other people say enough so you can figure out the context, but the other half the time is because of his tone.
Right, and are we saying that's like less of a communication? That's less... Like, to me, it just seems like, yeah, if we look at language, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, how did language evolve, right? Like, language evolved by people making probably like grunts and noises, and those grunts slowly became other things. So would we say they weren't expressing anything at a time? Like, I think even before there was a precise grammar or anything, there's still like stuff that's being expressed.
Body language and your expressions are more than just grunting noises as well. It's like it's really like crazy to say that that's not a huge part of like physical communication.
Okay, Brad, Testy is saying that he would agree to that. Although then he goes on to say he's an expressivist. I'm assuming you don't mean like in the anti-moral realism sense, because you said in the debate you're a subjectivist. If you're an expressivist, you'd be a non-cognitivist, and I don't think you were a non-cognitivist. Otherwise, I would have ripped your balls off.
What would you name a pragmatist? What is that? There's somebody that just like does what's good in the moment, but like still has a concept of good.
A retard.
Yeah, that's like that. Yeah, those are different. This is what I tried to like explain. I don't know if I did a good job at certain times, but right, normative ethics. That's why when we hear like terms like utilitarianism or pragmatism or consequentialism or like deontology, those are normative ethics. The debate was about meta ethics, but then like, which is fine that it went in different, but like, cause like Horse's full thing with his cross with MC Hammer and all that stuff, that was like a complete normative talk. Like they were talking about normative ethics like almost the entire time. Testy says, I'm a non-communist, but don't tell him. You better freaking not be. You better freaking not be.
Isn't saying a pragmatist is like a kind of a code of ethics, like saying that like atheism is a religion?
Yeah, it could be a code of ethics, but then it's like, yeah, what you would fall under a different camp. You would either, if you think that what you're doing in the moment is what you're doing in the moment objectively correct, now we're talking about meta ethics again, right? Or are you just saying that what you do in the good of the moment, that there's no good and wrong, you're just following what you want to be true, but none of it actually means anything, then you'd be like an error theorist. You'd be like a moral nihilist, basically. Or if you thought, no, it's not objective, I'm doing what I think is subjectively correct, then you'd be a subjectivist.
Well, that's not moral nihilism. It'd be a pragmatic-based morality. Like, I didn't make my morality from some ideology. I just observed other people's things and selected the best from it to compound it. It wasn't just me individually. It was our society working together to do that so we could join as one.
But I guess what I'm asking is, if you were to break that, have you done something wrong? If you would say no, then you would be like a moral nihilist. You might still think that the best way for people to act is in this pragmatic way. But if you're saying, no, if you break this, you're not doing anything wrong, then that's where the moral nihilism would come in. If you're saying, no, you are doing something wrong, just not necessarily objectively morally wrong, but you're doing something morally wrong, then you'd be like a subjectivist. If that makes sense.
You know what makes sense to me?
What's that?
What? I stepped away, but I can still hear you.
Oh, he's gone. I was gonna trigger him.
I'm pretty close.
I was gonna say what makes sense to me is being rated 1900 in rapid, which someone acted like I couldn't get.
We'll see if you stay there.
Well, my blitz and my bullet are at 1860 right now.
So I'm asking AI my question, like, what moral and ethical code is it if I cherry pick the best bits of every already instantiated moral theory and then endorse that for my nation as an ethical theory to have, or ethical framework to have my nation do that with their democratic vote, and it's called ethical electionism.
Yeah, this is again, just to be clear, this is in a different field from what we were talking about with like being an anti-realist or like that. Like now what you're describing, that's a normative ethic, right? That's how ethics ought to play out. That's like in that category. Same as like utilitarianism.
Function. When you say normative, you mean like the practical function, how it's going to actually like impact on the real world, not like as a theory.
Yeah, but also just like you could think that morality is objective, and you could be still utilitarianism and think that what is the objectively right thing to do is what, let's say, brings the most happiness or pleasure to the most people or minimizes pain. So how you do this, how you enact it, that's kind of the normative part. So it still could involve a theory, right? It could still involve the theory of utilitarianism, but it would still be a normative ethic. But then whether this is something that's like objectively the right thing to do, or if it's just subjective, or if morality doesn't really exist, it's just kind of a social construct, all that stuff would be the meta ethics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When are we going to have an existentialism debate?
What would it? Existentialism is so broad. What would it be on?
Man, I don't know. I'm not a philo bro.
I'm asking.
I'm a fucking chess player.
What is my meta ethical stance? I don't want normative stances. Let's see what it says.
The debate would just be dying is scary. Someone would have to argue for that. Someone would have to argue against
I know
that.
a couple people that think Odin's real, so they would probably argue on the other side of that.
I think Odin's real.
Ugh.
I would not watch a debate where someone's making the argument that dying is scary and we should all be afraid.
Dying is scary. I'd debate on that side.
Why is it scary?
Constructivism.
One of few guarantees that you have in life is that you're going to die.
Do we
Yeah,
Stop
so
casting
Confluence, why is it
spells.
scary?
Stop casting
Oh,
spells.
I'm not casting. You said it first. You're casting spells.
I know you're acting like we're gonna die. I think everyone's gonna
No,
have
no, you
whatever they
said it.
want.
We are
and-
gonna die.
in whatever
No,
color they
no.
want it in.
But when we die, you mean?
No, when Christ comes
we just
back
keep
and we
living?
don't die.
What is Deweyan pragmatism?
What is what?
Deweyan pragmatism.
I have no idea.
Damn it! Now you got Tyler casting spells. Good job,
I
guys.
don't-
He's maxing his Kirk questions.
It's still a
I just-
normative ethic, whatever it is. Your AI's not giving you a meta ethic yet.
Oh, fuck! That
All right,
reminds
I'll
me.
ask again.
Confluence, I asked you a Kirk question in philosophy.
What'd you ask me?
Have you read
Confluence, you have been stuck on
Oh,
this
yeah, you
for
did.
like 30 minutes.
First of all, that's not even true. I got one of the stars. It's the second star now.
It's been more like an hour. Yeah.
No,
that's
it
not
hasn't. I got one of the stars. This is the second star. No, I haven't read.
You guys have been going
I
on
thought I
about
gave you a
this
Kirk
fucking
answer, but maybe I forgot to. I have read excerpts of it. Is my Kirk answer, which is the truth.
Well, it's
but no, I have
mostly-
not read the whole thing.
From what I understand, is it? No, wait, I'm thinking of a different one. No, Penzies was unfinished by Pascal. It's like a bunch of writings. I
Yeah,
also
it's been like recompiled by other people. Yeah.
Yeah, I also learned about
I'm with you, Avery. I
fuck.
don't know. Like
Flaubert's Saint Anthony shit.
about an hour.
I
You know,
don't-
it's telling me that I'm using constructionism at a meta-ethical level.
The Temptation of Saint Anthony.
This is what the AI is saying to me when I try to argue what you're saying to it. Back to it. I'm acting as a middleman between you and the AI.
So you're ask it. So you're a subjectivist. See if it agrees with that from a meta-ethical
I bet it will.
standpoint. Because I think constructivism is a form of subjectivism. I think.
Chat, our AI can't not be subjective.
Objectivity is intersubjective and procedural.
I told you.
What kind of ask it if you're a moral realist or a moral anti-realist.
All right, so am I a subjectivist? It says, no, you are not a standard subjectivist. Subjectivism tells me what it is. What you actually describe, since you take the best bits from various moral theories according to some evaluation criteria.
It's just blowing smoke up your ass.
That is that is under the branch of subjectivism. You tell your AI it's retarded.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'll
trying to
rip its balls
compliment you
off.
while telling you
It's
different.
not.
Yeah.
It's saying it's subjective, but it's called intersubjective constructionism and not normative subjectivism as like people would think of it.
I agree with Tyler's AI. Tyler, you are special.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
Brad says
think
have
this
the
is how
AI
most
figure out if
people are.
moral statements are truth,
You have a
then
way of
ask
things.
what makes them true.
Tyler.
What was the
I
Saint
mean,
Anthony
this
thing you were saying,
AI.
Keelan?
It's called The Temptation of Saint Anthony by Flaubert, which I read about him in a book about Orientalists, but it actually sounds pretty interesting. It's just a bunch of different temptations that this dude has to go through. Apparently, I haven't read it. I want to, though.
Is it like a fiction?
Yeah, so it's described as a philosophical drama in prose.
Okay.
So yes, a fiction, but it's philosophical, apparently.
She didn't read it yet.
I just heard about it.
Keelan, maybe we could do that for the book club.
Yeah.
Oh, book clubs. Book clubs are so fucked.
Do you remember when Kirk tried to, now that he's not here, I can trash talk him. Do you remember when he gaslit us into making it seem like he was a part of a book club for the Iliad, and then it came back once we pressed him that he was just occasionally turning into a Twitch stream where some guy reads the Iliad?
Yeah, well, I actually just listened to it. I don't really, yeah.
And he's like, I never said technically I get together with, and it's like, I guess technically, but I feel like we all feel misled, Kirk, in this moment.
Only one guy owns the book, and we all just listen to him. And we're like, isn't that cut? It's actually his YouTube channel.
I'd be down
Poor
for a
fella.
book club. But like, you have to have topics for book clubs, right? You can't all just like be starting the book at the same time.
Well, if it's the temptation, like if we have a way to
Yeah.
divide it, we could like each read like a certain segment and then like discuss it on a stream. Like on our own time,
Yeah.
we could read the thing, right? And then when we meet up, then talk about that portion and stuff and what we think about it.
Each snap book has multiple short stories in it, so you could just go, everyone reads
So-
one Five Nights at Freddy's short
That
story.
still requires the ability to read, though. So
Audiobook
It should
stuff.
be. It's so old that it should be free now.
Yeah, it's probably in the public domain, I'd assume.
There's a lot of snap books out there still. He's still putting them out.
Project Gutenberg.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So yeah, we could totally read it. The only thing is like, I think this is a. I don't know if he was a Christian. He seems like he would be, but that
The
probably
guy-
doesn't affect it.
The snap guy?
So it's the description says, "The Temptation of Saint Anthony" by Gustave Flaubert is a dramatic poem in prose published in 1874, written in the form of a play script. It recounts one night in the Egyptian desert where Saint Anthony the Great faces a series of profound temptations. Through encounters with figures ranging from the Queen of Sheba to his former student Hilarion, Anthony confronts the seven deadly sins, ancient gods, heretics, and monsters, all challenging his belief that isolation is the truest form of worship.
Sounds interesting.
What's that have to
So
do with
he's
Five Nights at
antisocial?
Freddy's?
Yeah. I think he was more like a monk-ass guy.
yeah, like antisocial monk disorder or something.
Antisocial monk disorder. That was
And it's
good.
French. He's French, so you know, back in that time,
Oh.
a lot of good French philosophers.
That's true.
Interesting.
A lot of them were a little sus though, depending on the time period, but that's what it is.
I'll make sure to look that up. Never. Maybe.
But yeah, the EPUB is free, so we could.
Oh, we fucking summoned him by saying his name.
God damn it, it's Kirk.
Oh,
Kirk,
Kirk,
you
you've
can
been
only get a book
summoned.
club?
Come on, Confluence. Why do you do this to us?
Kirk, have you read The Temptation of St. Anthony?
No.
What did you
You
think
ever
about
read
it?
any Five Nights at Freddy's books?
No.
Have you seen the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, Kirk? I have.
I'm worried that my IQ would drop in half if I watch it, so no.
Oh, come on.
Down to
It's
25?
It's not a. it's not.
Boo,
It's a
I was
fine
just being
movie for what it
obtuse.
is.
Boo.
No, I don't know. I'm just ragging on you. No, I just haven't seen it.
He knows Snap. He's definitely a Snap player.
I didn't even know you was summoned. I just came because I saw you guys were in here.
Oh yeah, we were talking about you, Kirk. All nice things, of course.
Yeah, we were talking hard shit.
What were you saying about me?
We're talking about
Yeah, you
we're talking about book clubs.
No, I mean, book club. Yeah. I'm just.
Yeah, we're gonna read The Temptation of St. Anthony.
right now. We're gonna start in 30 seconds.
Popcorn reading.
I have been reading a different book recently.
All right.
What does it have to do with The Temptation of St. Anthony?
Not, I don't know anything about the Temptation of St. Anthony, so I don't know.
But do you know who Phone Guy is?
Yes, I know who Phone Guy is.
Unironically, Confluence, like this book seems like it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, I am. From what you said about it, it sounds enticing. Like I would like it.
You should get the hard copy.
I did have a question, Confluence.
I have an answer, Kirk. Maybe. Well, probably not, but I can try.
So you believe in libertarian free will, right? You think we
Uh,
can choose to do otherwise?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, let me revise it. See, that's why I quibbled a little bit. I think a lot of the times we can choose to do otherwise. I don't think all of the time.
No, I'm saying none of the time. None of the time we can choose to do otherwise.
Oh yeah, that's absurd.
What do you mean that's absurd? How could we choose to do otherwise if every decision we make is determined by our desire?
I don't think every decision we make is determined by desire. This stuff only works. It's like in the same way you can get like ethical egoism to basically work if you like twist enough stuff around, because yeah, you're always like choosing according to your greatest desire what you think is right, because if you didn't think it was right, then you wouldn't pick it. And so like you could make like any type of like egoism work by just saying, well, you always choose according to your greatest desire. And even if you say, well, no, I'm punting into some point in the future and that's my greatest desire, well then it's like, well then that was your greatest desire, and if you didn't do that, then that's your. So it just like it's almost, you're begging the question, like not you specifically, but people who make these arguments, they beg the question the entire time, because it's like, well, of course you can always redefine something, but there's tons of examples where it's like our desires conflict and it's unclear. So for example, like I heard this example from Michael Humer when I was prepping for the debate. He's talking about Odysseus when he's like on the ship with like the sirens, and he gets ahead of time in the moment. His desire is not to be captured by the sirens, right? Not to like dive into the waters and die. But he knows in the moment his greatest desire is going to be to jump in. So then he like gets his crewmates to like tie him to the mast, and they put like earwax in their ears and stuff, and he tells them, no matter what I say, don't untie me from the mast, because he wants to experience it for some reason. So it's like, that shows that desires get like, what's his greatest desire in general? Is it when he's tied to the mast? Because that's probably like the strongest desire. Is it the one he did in the past? We're just kind of picking that from a temporal point of view. So it's like the whole thing gets like really like, I think, convoluted when we consider time and how desires work and stuff. And so I don't find it like very compelling that we just like always choose according to our greatest desires, unless all we mean by that is just tautologically in any moment what we consider is our greatest desire, we do that thing. But again, that's begging the question. That's like, that just, you're saying nothing by saying that.
Well, it's not begging the question, because you're right, it's tautological, but it's tautological in the same sense that 2 + 2 = 4 is tautological, which is, yes, it's tautological, but that's just because it's definitely true. Like, it's definitely true that whatever we do is going to be whatever we want to do the most, by definition.
Right, but then the proposition itself becomes like meaningless, right?
Okay, it's 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4 meaningless?
No, I wouldn't say 2 + 2 = 4 is tautological though.
It's definitely tautological. You're saying XX and XX is XXXX. That is as tautological as it gets.
I don't know. Like I could be wrong on the math thing. I'm not sure, but it seems like you're at least gaining new information. Because then you could say like all arithmetic, all calculations are tautological. But I don't know if that's really true. When I'm saying tautological, right, I'm talking about how you would literally just be redefining the words to just prove itself. You're just saying, well, by greatest desire, I mean the thing you happen to do, and by the thing you happen to do, I mean your greatest desire. You're like literally just, that's why I'm saying it's begging the question. You're just literally saying you're gonna do what you're going to do. And it's like, well, sure, that's not up for you to dispute. You're obviously going to do what you're going to do. And if we just redefine that's what we're doing when we're talking about greatest desire. Because like I said, my Odysseus one, what is his greatest desire, right? Does it just change throughout time? Is there some higher idealized version of Odysseus that's what his true greatest desire is? Like the whole thing gets like really, kind of messed up.
Well, I like the way Schopenhauer puts it, which is you can do what you will, but you can't will what you will, right? You can always do whatever your greatest desire is, but the point is you can't desire anything other than what you desire.
Yeah, but you can though, because you can have conflicting desires and you're choosing between those, and a lot of it is not like what is like, we don't mean the strongest desire, and we also probably don't mean something about temporality. That's why I think the Odysseus example with the sirens is like pretty good, because it shows both of those things. I think most of us would not think his true greatest desire was to go into the ocean, but that's what he would have chosen in that moment, and that probably was the desire that would have been the strongest if we're just talking about all the desires throughout his let's say that span of like 2 days, and we're like, which one of these is his greatest desire? The one that had the most like puissance to it would have been when he's tied to the mast hearing the siren song. But none of there's something I think you would probably agree, right? It seems weird to like say that was his actual greatest desire. We think there was some like limitation or some like not his highest good or some of his agency was somehow being hijacked. Like, I don't think any of us would be comfortable saying, no, that was actually his like true desire.
Okay, let me ask you this. On what basis do you make a decision?
I think you make a decision on desire. I think on rationality. I think on morality. And the only way to get around that is to just say, well, if you desire to, your desire to do good is stronger, but then we're just redefining, desire is just, we're begging the question.
Okay, well, let me just say, what I'm saying is, if the basis of a decision is your desire, and the basis of your decision to act on your desire is a higher order desire, you keep going back in the chain of reasoning, and eventually it's going to terminate in a highest order desire by definition.
Right, but then I feel like this doesn't answer my Odysseus question, right? Then what's his highest desire, like throughout those courses of 2 days?
His highest desire is the highest desire he makes before he makes a decision.
So it's temporally bound. So the fact that he happened to tie himself to the mast ahead of time, even though his highest desire was not that at any other time, just because it happened temporally first. Like, what if his crewmates did untie him or he broke free? Then you would say his highest desire is to swim with the sirens and die.
Well, like I said, it is temporal. Like it depends on the context. So yes, it is.
Well, none of this is gay at all. I mean, can we move the conversation or what? What are we doing?
I feel like it's a pretty interesting conversation.
This book by Flaubert is.
I digress. Y'all two, go ahead.
It would be
you
so
guys
fucking
are watching
wild to
that
read.
woke Odyssey with the black lady.
No, I actually have not seen it.
Isn't it based on that feminist rendition of the Odyssey?
Yes.
Because someone released a book, and it was like the Odyssey but feminist, and if Avery's
it was
right,
by some French author. It was the one that the movie was based off of, and even she got pissed off at how Christopher Nolan kind of dumbed it down, like from the fucking feminist shit. Although there was still some there, I will admit. It wasn't completely horrible. There's just one scene in the movie that I had a problem with. Other than that, it was alright. I still think it's worth seeing in theaters.
In my understanding, French authors tend to be pretty woke in general.
Yeah, that's just the entire French. That's why everybody hates them.
But their philosopher's so fucking based.
Which one? Talking about like throughout history or like recently?
Throughout history.
I mean, the only cool French philosopher I can name is Descartes.
Oh, come on. Camus, Sartre.
I mean, I haven't read those guys, but I've heard, like, for example, Sartre supported the Soviet Union and stuff, so I don't know. I'm skeptical.
I kind of said, like, Sartre is one of, I think...
And it's Sartre. It's Sartre, not Sartre.
I'm not going to do, like, I'm going to say Nietzsche. I'm not going to say, like, Nietzsche or whatever. I'm going to say how they're said in English. But I know his name.
Yeah, I feel like Confluence might know more French than you do, Kirk.
Almost
no, but I know I know it's pronounced Sartre. I do know that.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm not going to say that. But yeah, like I'm talking about their actual like their works that they did. Like I hinted this before, but like almost all there's a document that almost all the postmodernists signed, like Lyotard and Derrida, Foucault. And Sartre, that was like some document to like lower the age of consent to like 12 or something that they signed in like 1950s.
Insane.
Yeah, it's like, and so a lot of them are like, some of their works are like, pretty like well-regarded works and like pretty interesting. But then you see something like that, you're like, I don't know if I would trust their like moral intuitions on some of these things. But I think we have to separate the art from the author. Now Avery's got me saying Arthur. Fuck you, Avery.
Well, the art from the artist thing, I don't think you can definitely separate them. I'm just saying, like, for example, Sartre, I mean, I haven't read him, but correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he say we have like this free will to like make decisions or whatever? Like that doesn't like I said, it just doesn't make sense to me how you can transcend your own desire. Like that's what I don't understand about the existentialist philosophy is if existentialists believe we're burdened to choose, well then how can our choices be anything but determined by our pre-existing desire?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of an existential question, but it's one of those that's like kind of hard to argue because like, and this is what I like about existentialism. It's like in some ways, I think they're like, if you don't get it, and I'm not trying to like say this in like a bad way, but it's just like, it's one of those things I think sometimes you just get or you don't get. Like, to me, it's like so obvious that yes, there's desires I have, and I have to like either fight those desires or acquiesce, and there's hierarchies of desires, and I don't always pick what I think my highest one is. Like, and I feel like the example I gave, right, with Odysseus, I think shows this. Like, it gets convoluted. It's not so simple as just saying you're picking your highest desire. Like, we'd all, I think, balk at that when we actually go into specifics about what that looks like. But it's like, yeah, like to make a propositional statement, yeah, you can make it tautologically true that you always pick according to your highest desire. You can always say, well, if you didn't, then that was actually your highest desire. Psych. But you're not adding any like content. You're just saying anything you happen to pick. Like, let's say I'm right, and you do have, let's say, a soul that can make free choices. I still could never win this argument because you could just always say, well, even if you have that and you could pick something that's definitionally outside your desires, I could never prove that. You would just then say, well, even that soul that is capable of making a true decision is therefore a new type of desire, and you could do that for everything.
I mean, I
so
believe
it's
in a
just like
soul. I do believe in a soul. If you don't believe in a soul, you're basically a heretic, as far as I'm concerned. The Bible says we're created in the image of God.
Yes. If anyone doesn't believe anything that you believe, Kirk, we're heretics. Absolutely. Great logic.
No,
but then I don't know.
just
Like,
Get
what
fucked,
do you
Kurt,
think?
Get fucked.
What do you think a soul is? If you don't think a soul, like, to me, one of the base actions of a soul is like experiential, but also like to some degree volitional, not in like an entirety way, but it's like, if we have no volition, like as a religious person, that would bring up so many problems, like, because then there would be like really no reason why God ought judge anyone. If we have no say over what our desires are and we're always just picking the strongest desire, then God has, I think, no ability to judge anyone.
Thank you.
No, the
Nice
soul
hand
is, I don't think has to do. I mean, I'm not a materialist. I do believe in the immaterial. I do believe we have like an immaterial
Wow.
soul. But like,
Yeah, it looks fucking lit.
what I'm saying is the soul is the immaterial ego we have, as far as I can tell. But I don't know what that has to do with like free will.
Well, okay, I guess. Well, first of all, then, what do you think does the immaterial ego just experience things, but has no volitional control at all? So we basically are just like automaton, but we're like aware of this, and everything else is illusory.
We
Like,
have
what kind of soul is that? Just be an atheist,
we have
bro.
volitional. We have volitional control. We can do what we can do. I didn't say we don't make decisions. I'm saying our decisions are predetermined. We're free to make decisions. Of course.
You said that you can't choose against your greatest desire.
Yes, we're free to act according to our greatest desire.
But we can't act otherwise. So how is that free? How are we free to act? We're free to make a compulsory decision that we can't have chosen otherwise. That's like saying a prisoner that receives a death sentence is free to be hung. That's not how like anyone would use those words. Oh, he has a choice, doesn't matter. He can completely make the only choice to be hung for his crime. That's not a choice. The choice would have happened if he committed the crime at the point of committing the crime or not at the state of his execution.
Well, what would it mean to say something? What would it mean to say something could be different in the future?
That's not really the question. Isn't something can be different in the future? Like once you've made the choice, then you've made the choice. I'm not saying you go like
in the future, not in the past. You're talking about in the past. I'm talking about in the future. What does it mean to say something in the future can be different?
Well, I don't think the future holds ontology, right? Like I don't know if the future like exists right now, right? Like the future. So there's a bunch of possibilities of things that could happen in the future. I think the future is like, set in stone.
Okay. So I guess my question is, so you believe we can make, basically the future, do you think the future is determined or not?
Partially, but partially not, no.
Okay, so partially not. So what does it mean to say the future is not determined? What would it mean to say what will be could be different from what will be?
Well, again, I feel like that's just like, now we're just going back to tautologies.
If what will be, then what does it mean to say what will be won't be?
Are you catching the windbreak or what, Avery?
Nah, someone's on a fucking, what is it called? The flying dirt bike thing that shoots missiles and they're trying to hit me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what is it called? I don't know. Sorry, I'm talking out loud.
You're saying that
Yeah,
the future's, you're saying the future's not predetermined. right? So
Right. So
what,
then,
or
so
at least
then,
not completely.
right. So that's
So
why
if-
that's why I'm saying it's we're back to question begging. If you're saying what does it mean to say
Oh,
what
they're on
will
my
be
ass.
will be? Well, but to say what will be is implying that the future can't be any different. So you're like smuggling in that the future is set in stone with the question you're asking.
Well, will it be or will it not be?
You're just asking the question in a different way. I already answered. It's question.
Okay.
It's begging the question.
By definition, the future is what will be. That is the definition of the future.
Right, but you can't. You're like there's some like semantic overload that's happening with when you're saying that. Then to move to the statement, well, what will be? How could it be otherwise? The future is defined. Like it's almost like saying like whatever I'm gonna hold in my hand next will be whatever I hold in my hand next. That's a true statement, right? But I haven't yet like actualized that. So I could pick up my Zins, or I could pick up my grapefruit beverage, right? And so when I said, now that statement still is true. What I was gonna hold in my hand is what I held in my hand. But at the moment I said that statement, right, it didn't give you any indication on what I was going to pick up or not going to pick up.
Yeah, but on what basis would you choose to pick up the Zins
definitely.
or the Coke or whatever?
Well, this is why I think the whole thing is stupid. I don't think there was a greatest desire in that moment. I know that like people like Sam Harris think that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What basis is
He's
it?
pushing
If
all
it's
the
not a
buttons
greatest,
down there, Avery. Get him.
if it's not a greatest desire, what is the basis?
Yes.
I think there's stuff like there's like arbitrary actions for
If you
one.
don't, they'll shoot you.
Okay, so arbitrary. Well, if it's arbitrary, that means it's not done for a reason, so it can't be in your control because arbitrary means outside of your control.
Well, no, I think you don't think someone can make an arbitrary choice between two things.
Well, it's not in any way that's in their control.
I don't know. See, I don't know. We've gone through this on stream, and like other people have disagreed with me. Obviously, if you don't believe in free will, you're going to disagree with me. I just don't really know what people
I do
mean.
believe in free will. I do believe in free will. When did I say I didn't believe in free
You
will?
don't believe in
I
free
said-
will. You believe in some like
compatibilism.
you
It's called
believe in some,
compatibilism.
yeah. You believe in
Free
some
will-
like neutered version of free will.
Well, it's free will is compatible with determinism. You can't choose otherwise. You're free to make what decisions you're going to make.
Saw how them fucking cars turned into agents, dude. They look like regular cars, and all of a sudden they were agents.
But I guess my question would be like, what does it? Okay, what does it mean? On what basis do you make a decision? Well, if you do it for no reason, then that's not you choosing anything because it's a random whim. And if it's
It's still,
determined,
even if it is, that's still your random whim, right? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
That's what
it is
that's
your
why I had my
random
whole
whim.
thing about
and you could, yes, it is your random whim.
Yeah,
and you
see, I
could
know
not do
Brandon is
anything
a
but-
compatibilist, so I know Brandon will agree with this, but I think it's just omni-cucked. I think it's omni-cucked.
No, Brandon is a compatibilist. I thought.
Yeah, I said he is.
No, you said he isn't.
Maybe I misspoke, I guess, but if
Yeah,
I did,
but
I
no,
meant
no.
to say he is.
Random. If it's okay, if you have a choice and you do it because for no reason, that's random. And if you do it because of your highest desire, it's determined. So the options are determinism or randomness, and neither determinism nor randomness imply volition.
Yeah, it's my. I don't know how you can say it. I've gone through this before on stream, right? Like if I can choose to raise my right or my left hand, it's like two things seem equally ridiculous under your view. Either you have to do like the whole path of saying that what hand I pick is actually just a result of my brain chemistry. And my whole upbringing has led up to this.
I'm not saying your brain chemistry.
Okay,
I'm not
well
saying
that's what I'm saying. One of the options. It either has to be that, or you're saying
Just
that
do it.
actually it's one of my
First
greatest
thing.
desires that I truly have some great desire to raise my left or my right hand, which sounds equally absurd. Or you have to say that what's the third option I was going to say? Or you have to say that I'm actually not making the volitional thing at all, and actually it's like some force outside of myself that's choosing to raise my right or left hand. I think I can make an arbitrary choice. I don't see why. When someone says pick a number between 1 and 1,000, yeah, there might be some numbers that we're likely to choose more than others, but I don't think I have a greatest desire to pick 959, and I don't think that I was incapable of making that decision. I think I chose that number. Like on its face, we all know that. We all know that I just picked that number.
You chose that number. I agree. You chose that number. On what basis did you choose the number? You chose it because you wanted to choose that number the most.
So that's the thing.
Or
That's,
with
that's
random,
the,
and you want to
right. So
choose
that's
both
what
random
I
way.
mean. That's what I'm saying. So you're caught between two equally, ostensibly absurd positions. One that number has some like special where now we have to almost like redefine desire to include something that's basically arbitrary, or we have to say that I just made a random thing and it wasn't me that chose that random number, even though I clearly chose that random number and everyone knows I chose that random number.
I'm saying that it's not. I guess I don't get what's confusing about it. If you're choosing it for a reason, you're choosing it for a determinate reason that you can't choose that reason because the reason is your highest order desire. And if you do it randomly, you're not doing it with the basis, and so it's not within your control because it doesn't have a basis.
Right, and I think both of those things are equally absurd. That's what I'm saying.
Then what's the third option?
The third option is that I am making the choice, and it's not in accordance. Let me finish. And it's not in accordance with my highest desire, and it's not a random thing that's outside of me. It's me making some, albeit pseudo-random thing. Because, like I said, if you ask me 1,000 times, I'm gonna probably pick certain numbers more than other numbers. So it's probably like some blanketing of like possible things that I could pick and more likely to pick. Yeah, me and Brandon have like vastly different, because Brandon's probably like, no, none of those things are absurd. Of course you chose to raise your right hand according to your greatest desire. And I'm just like, that's such a skill issue, brother. That's just a skill issue.
How is that a skill issue?
To think that you can't, to abnegate your free will so much, to deny.
Speak English, hold on. Dumb it down into like regular English that I can understand, please.
To cuck your own
what does abnegate
will.
mean?
To cuck. I'm using new words. This is the new Confluence translation. You are cucking yourself if you were saying it's not actually me choosing this in any real way. It's either I am kind of forced to pick according to my greatest desires, or it's a random thing outside of myself. I am incapable to look at yourself, the paragon of animals, a human being, and to live an inner life and to think I'm actually incapable. I'm just like a machine. You're cucking everything about what makes the man a spirit, in my opinion.
Man a spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Avery, you just think we're just some like animal and stuff. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in a soul, to my knowledge, right? So
I've had this conversation with you. God damn, I love it how you just forget about it whenever I open up about how I actually feel spiritually. I just love that.
Okay, Avery. Wait,
I do believe that there is something more to us than the fact that we are just animals. However, we are technically just animals. Do I believe in a soul? Sure, yeah, I do. I'm not going to sit here and say no.
Yeah, that's why
I just don't believe in God.
Okay, but okay. I feel like you've got to give me some understanding here, because yes, we had this previous conversation, but when Kirk said, of course I believe in a soul, it would be heretical not to. It seemed like you took like great umbrage at him saying that. Maybe he was just over the heresy part.
No, he said if not, they're fucking. It's the way he said. It's like, oh yeah, anyone who doesn't agree with me is a whatever he said. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a great way to look at shit.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you like were specifically.
That's what I meant by that.
Okay, that's fair.
No, I don't think I indicated like if you disagree with me, you're a heretic. I'm saying if you're a Christian or a religious Jew who claims to believe in God but you don't believe in an immaterial soul, that is heretical. Is basically my position.
Can we define like what because I gave my definition right of a soul, right? I think it has to have it's experiencing. It's kind of at the very minimum. It's something that's like it's the seat of consciousness, experiencing conscious awareness. And I would say a second thing for me would be that it's some level of agency has to happen.
Well, I agree. Agency happens.
Testy, I literally believe in magic, so yes, I do believe that. But it's not just belief.
Yes.
But I believe if you steel man what you said, I do actually believe that. Yes, but it's not just about belief.
Of course, I believe in a soul with experience and agency.
Okay, but you're just saying that agency is you're just free. You're a free agent, but by free agent you mean you can't actually choose otherwise in any situation ever.
You can do what you can do, and you can't do what you can't do.
And you can only do one thing in any one moment, and you can't do anything else other than that thing. In what sense is that like agentic at all?
Because you, the agent, are making the decision.
But you couldn't have decided otherwise.
Yes.
You understand how absurd this is if you apply it to any area of life, right? If you like forced a woman to like do something untoward with you and she has no choice in it, and then you're like, well, she had the choice. She did the one choice she could have made, which was to have sex with me. No one would call that saying that the woman had agency in that example, right? Like none of us would say that. We wouldn't say, well, if you think about it, she actually had a choice. It was just she only had one choice, and that was to have sex with you. Like if you apply this to anything, right, it would just be on its face absurd. Do you at least agree with that? Like outside of this like rarefied philosophical talk, if we apply this to any area of life, we would never call that agency.
I mean, listen, you can say I don't believe in free will, but I'm saying there have been plenty of philosophers who've considered this a form of free will.
Can you answer what I just said though? Do you agree with that? That in my sex example, it would be lunacy to say that person had agency, and then to spin agency as well. She technically made a choice. It was just the one choice she could have made. She couldn't have made any other choice at all. And this is even worse than that, because at least maybe that woman could like, I don't know, off herself or like do some in this situation. Maybe it's possible, but this is worse. You're thinking there's not even hypothetical that this person could have done otherwise, and you're still calling it agency. You're taking the least example of agency conceivably possible, and you're rebranding that as agency somehow.
Oh no, I believe in that case, neither the woman nor the man in that situation could have done otherwise, but they're both free to act according to their highest order desire.
Right, so I'm saying in that example, but I'm applying that.
I'm
going outside of the philosophical realm for a second. I'm saying, do you see how ridiculous it would be to say that woman in that moment, that she actually had agency?
I mean,
or if you look at someone who was like enslaved, and you're like, no, that person that was enslaved and like forced at gunpoint to make a decision, that person had agency. And like I said, this is worse because at least maybe that person could just say, okay, just shoot me, and refuse to do work and just get killed. At least there's an action there. At least there's a choice, even if it's between dying and being enslaved. This is worse, where you're like being enslaved, but you actually can't choose to die. Like you're actually like you're basically being puppeteered and forced to work. And then Kirk's sitting there being like, well, that guy still has a choice. He still has like agency and stuff. He just, he has the agency to do what he can do, which is to be puppeteered.
I mean, like, listen, of course, on a pragmatic level, we're not going to say that most people are not going to call my position.
So you got a line of sight if you go back up there.
But I'm just saying that I consider myself a believer in free will. If you say I don't believe in free will, that's a semantic disagreement, and I don't care to have a semantic argument.
I don't really think I'm asking for a semantic argument.
I'm saying that's what this is going to reduce to. That's what this is going to reduce to. I'm saying I define freedom as the freedom to act according to your highest desire. You say if that means you can't do otherwise, I don't believe in free will, then we're just going to have the same argument back and forth, and it's going to go nowhere. I'm just saying we have different definitions, and we can agree to disagree on what definitions to use. But either way, I think both of our positions are clear now. I just don't know how you could disagree with my position, because what does it mean to say you act according to something that's not your highest order desire?
Okay, so
I just don't get that.
This sounds like running a little bit. Like, at least admit that when this is applied to real life, like, you at least agree with my slavery and my essay example, that would be absurd. Now, maybe you're saying these things are somehow different, and what we mean when we're talking about agency, there's semantic overload happening. Like, that's a possible thing you could say.
No, it's true. No, it's true that in any event, no one has the freedom to do otherwise, and yet we have freedom to act according to our highest order desire.
That's not what I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking you.
No, it is what you're asking. Let me explain.
No, it's not.
Let me explain, though. You're not even letting me explain, and it's kind of rude how you're interrupting me. Okay, please.
Okay, but if you
kind of rude how you're telling the guy to run his own show.
If you don't answer my question, I'm just gonna ask the same question again. But I'll let you finish.
Your question is: do I acknowledge that we would not use the word agency commonly there? Yes, we would not. Question answered.
Okay, great. So why not? Why, when we apply this to any real world example, would we would never call us? We'd find it monstrous to say these people had agency. But then in this context, philosophically, we're fine saying this worst thing where you have absolutely no ability. Why are we fine then calling that agency? Do we just mean something completely different by agency in both of these?
Because people are confused about what free will means. People think free will means that you can do otherwise, but people don't realize that being able to do otherwise is a nonsensical concept.
So I guess why even call this, like, if it's not, so basically, it sounds like you are basically saying you're biting the bullet that when we talk about agency in normal life, right, in like normative ethics or something, if we're saying that person have the agency to commit the crime, or did that person have agency to consent, that we mean something utterly, entirely different that's like not even remotely related. So why even use words like agency, or why even use words like free will? Like, why not abandon those words? Like, what's the utility in using words that really don't connote what we would mean in normal life at all?
I mean, because it's kind of like and I have been reading more. I actually have been also on top of the world as world representation. I've also been reading The Ethics by Spinoza, and one of the arguments Spinoza makes that I agree with is that we have this freedom through necessity, where as soon as we recognize that all of our decisions are ultimately determined by God, as soon as we recognize that all of our decisions are determined by God acting according to God's will, then we will, you know, be content, and we'll realize, hey, at the end of the day, I'm glad that, you know, I have my circumstances, instead of worrying, well, you know, things could have been differently. It's so sad that, you know, this tragic thing happened, but the tragic thing couldn't have happened otherwise. So I'm just accepting the fate that life has given me. It's like a stoicism. It's like a stoicism.
Yeah, I get that. I think it's agentically cucking oneself, but
it kind of removes the free will out of it.
K2 says, mute Kirk for 5 minutes. He's my one person to talk to, but thank you for the $5. I will now wax poetic. Actually, this is aptly timed. I'll put on a timer because I want to hit you guys with my version of compatibilism, okay? It's a bit heretical, so buckle up. But I will use Kirk's mute time to explain this. Thank you again, K2, for the $5. So I would say my compatibilist view, okay, is I think in some ways we can have free will and determinism at the same time. We can have basically what Kirk's saying, but he's missing a fundamental, albeit heretical, component of this. Is that, so yes, God knows what's going to happen, and God is sovereign over all creation. We still have free will. Why do those things, what's the link that happens between those? Well, you might have guessed it. It's because we are God. So that's how it all checks out. We are God. So
okay,
that is the compatibilist solution. If we're God, then yes, God is sovereign over all of this, and the world is deterministic, but we still are an interplay in this because we are part of the dream maker of this dream reality that we're in, which is the real reality. But we're the one
You're
also.
God, you got to get past this stage of Mario, God.
Inshallah, I will. This is a hard start. This is probably the hardest start in the game so far, I think.
Nobody cares. They want to watch backyard baseball.
That will, I promise you, K2. I promise you this coming weekend.
I don't know.
I promise.
Promise last
You're
time.
letting us down.
I know, but
yeah,
then
you
the
promised
debate,
us this weekend.
I know I did, but then the debate happened and I didn't get any debate notes until the day
I don't know.
of.
I think I should be reimbursed an extra 10 minutes of Kurt mute time.
Oh, look, Brandon's saying cook fluence. Holy shit. Thank you. I'm getting props from Brandon. Look at that. It's got to mean something.
Hey, and you misread my chat. I said mute Kirk fluence. We're just going to call Kurt fluence from now on.
I don't like that. I don't agree with this.
I do.
I think it's got a flow to it.
Hey, Z Big Burbs.
Kurt fluence.
And hey, Gruner. K2, what do you think? Do you think we have free will?
I don't know. I just jumped in. I just did my pre-trip. I'm in the tractor and trailer, and I'm heading down to West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
Mount Mama.
Z-Big says, bro,
Oh,
I'm
I
really
didn't hear
tripping
any
right
of
now.
that.
You look red. Why? I have a pink light, and I gotta fix my lighting. It makes me look constantly
Because
like
I
sunburned.
joined the show, it pissed him off, because now I can call him Confluence on the thing, and that really pisses him off. Gay
That's
fluence,
true.
Kurt fluence.
Yeah. The Kirk fluence is by far the worst one. We don't have free will, so did someone else force that bottle of Rohypnol down your gullet, Z-Big Burbs? Is that what you're saying? Or was your greatest desire to use some DMX? I mean DXM. DMX is goated. You should always use DMX. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
DMX. White people say the N-word. With the A on it.
Dude, why was he always barking?
Yeah. You know what's weird about that? He was found and I think arrested with like a bunch of like dead dogs on his property. So for the guy who
Jesus
always does
fuck.
the barking noise, it's weird that guy who's known for the barking was found with like 10 dead dogs buried on his property. I don't know if he was like doing some like dog fighting thing or if he was just like an abuser to animals. I don't remember. But yeah, like this is a real thing.
He could have
You guys can
had
look
10
up.
dogs that died at 10 different times. It's not right for us to assume unless we read the article.
I have before. Something was untoward.
Did he
I just don't
properly
remember if it
bury
was.
them, or what?
I don't remember if it was dog fighting or animal cruelty charges, but there was, I think, something that happened with this. Someone could fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure it just wasn't like, oh, he has just had pet dogs.
A Vic situation.
A Vic, like Cool
In
Vic?
the early 2000s. No, that
I remember
Atlanta
Cool Vic, dude, illegal dog fighting?
No, I know what you're talking about, K2.
That's right.
That was a while ago.
That was the early 2000s.
Yeah, and Testy, I made
Forget
a
his
video
first
on tripping on DXM, and so sometimes people come in. I don't know if Zebik is one of them, but he might have seen my video, possibly. He might be the same guy who came here last time talking about DXM after seeing my video. That's also possible, and I just can't remember his name. K2, what do you think of recreational abuse of cough syrup? Oh, also, by the way, Kirk, you're almost certainly... Oh, look at that. Look at that internal clock. I don't know if you guys heard it go off.
Recreational internal clock. I think that's bad. You don't want to rely on that.
That was such a good internal clock. That's like when you set the
just wanna say-
microwave and then you're like, oh, is my food done? And it immediately goes off. You're like, how the fuck did I know that?
Yeah, I want to say I agree with you. We all are a part of
Wait,
God.
the timer's not up, is it?
It is up.
It
yeah.
is.
That's what I
Yeah,
was
no,
saying.
we-
My
I thought I
clock.
get a 10-minute reimbursed to mute Kurt whenever I want.
Wait,
For
why?
you not playing it last weekend. For you
No,
not.
I will
for
play
you not-
it. I have to buy money or emulate this. It's causing me so much problems.
Yeah, no, I want to say, Confluence, I do agree with you that we all are part of God. I am a panentheist, but I don't know how you could believe that we're all part of God and then not be a determinist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of my form of like compatibilism. Is I would say like it's like that would still give us agentic decision though, I guess, in that sense, because if we're part of God, then it could be the case like that would maybe be. I'm not saying I 100% believe this, but it could be right. I've said this idea before that I'm not the first one to say this. That maybe before you like incarnate on the earth, right? You know exactly what your life's going to be, and you choose some like Alan Watts shit, basically, and you're like choosing what life you want to enter into, and so you know the suffering ahead of time. This is also one of my answers to like the theosis, or sorry, not theosis, one of my theodicies against like the problem of evil. Is like, well, that's one of the answers. If we are God and we did consent to go through all of this, then on some level we consented. Just like when you immerse yourself in a play or a video game, when Mario is dying on the quicksand, it probably sucks for Mario. But what Mario doesn't know is that I am Mario. Mario is me. And I'm choosing for him to die in this quicksand in the hopes of attaining the eternal glory of the star that will come at the end of this.
Horrible
just
fucking example of that.
our memories erased.
True
and don't
simulation
remember.
theory.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not simulation in the sense that it's false. It's just like, it's the same realization, right? That one can have in like a dream, right? Where it's like, you
Like
might have a
first
nightmare.
blackout you'll ever have.
You might have a horrific nightmare and you might be like, wow, this is such a terrible dream. And in your dream, you're like, why are these people doing this to me? Maybe you're like being shot at or something and you're like really scared and you're feeling this intensely. You don't know you're dreaming. Then you wake up and it's like, well, who did that to you? Like, you did that to you. You constructed the dream world. You were the world. You were the guy trying to kill you. You're the person who's saving you. You're the first person character. You're everything in this dream. It's all you. But in the moment, in a dream, you're like, oh, fuck that guy. That guy's an asshole. He's trying to kill me. And like, what a terrible world I'm in right now and all this stuff. But it's you doing it.
Are you the kind of person that when you're in a dream, you cannot tell you're dreaming?
No, I can't. It just depends. There's some dreams I have that are like fully lucid. There's some dreams I have where there's no degrees of lucidity, but yeah, it's not guaranteed. There's a lot of dreams, most dreams, where I'm not.
Okay, so
I'm not lucid.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, I am curious, Confluence. No, I just want to say, I thought you said so you're saying that you do accept like compatibilism. You are a determinist because we're all part of God, but I thought you said you weren't a determinist, that we can do otherwise.
I think we can.
I'm
This
confused.
is my solution to the compatibilism thing. So it's like, so in this form I'm saying right now, it's basically like we're choosing. So all the choices we made those choices, but we are part of God, so we made them ahead of time. So that's like one. I'm not saying I fully am like locked into that. I'm just saying that's like one possible explanation of how I think you could have both. So I did make all the decisions, but I chose when I incarnated to make all of these decisions. So I am making volitional acts, but I also can't decide differently in this moment now. Now the experience of free will could be illusory because my agentic self, my true self, has already made these decisions.
Oh,
This
because you're
is when
saying
I wake up, the real nightmare begins.
I mean that's fine, but what I'm saying is the problem with that would be in terms of like temporality and causality. If God is outside of time, how can you exist in God before the creation of physical time?
I think we existed. I think we've always existed.
But that sounds. I mean, yeah. I guess we have always existed in the sense that our souls have always existed. But then I guess that also goes into the problem of like, okay, you're saying basically in the past we made these decisions and they determine decisions we make in the present, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is in the past when we made the decisions, like I said, it goes back to the highest order desire regress problem.
Right, and I'm saying this would be my compatibilist answer to this, right? Is that yeah, you're making the decisions that you already like elected to make at at a different point of time, I guess, like pre-incarnation. So you could be right that
yes, you're right. I'm saying when you made that original decision, you still had to have done it either randomly or to your highest order desire.
No, see, and
So
that's right. Well, I guess, okay, well, I'm curious. If you think that and you think we're parts of God, do you think God is always can God make a free choice? Or are you just saying free will?
No, of course not. God can't make a decision other than God's nature.
But you think that like God couldn't have, like God couldn't have made, let's say, the sun be slightly smaller and then compensate in other ways so that we're still like in a Goldilocks zone. You're saying like God couldn't have done that. There's no point outside time, like the whole universe had to be exactly how it had to be. God is basically as much of an automaton as anything else is. Like, did you actually think that?
Yes, God could not have made the sun other than he made the sun. What would it mean to me? Again, does it mean to say something could have been that has not been?
Yeah, then it sounds like to me you're just defining. Yeah, this is why I kept calling it question begging, because it just sounds like if you're saying not even God, not even an omnipotent being can make a volitional choice, then yeah, you're just defining free will.
It is volitional. No, it is volitional. It is volitional.
Kirk believes that mass cannot be destroyed or created.
Well, some I guess libertarian free will that he could have, like, whatever term you want to use. You're basically defining that term as impossible.
Not necessarily.
Like even impossible for God himself, right? Even so, an omnipotent being couldn't even do this thing. So you're basically so it sounds like you're just saying it's just fully logically impossible at all in any conceivable world, even for God himself, right?
If you don't believe in that omnipotent being, then yeah, I guess that would make sense. But
yeah, but Kirk does, though. That's the confusing thing. He thinks God does exist, but that God still couldn't have
has limitations.
Couldn't have made the universe otherwise.
No, God doesn't have limitations. Whatever his will is, he can impose it. He just can't will his will to be different.
Yeah, see, I think Testy is seeing my frustration. I think if I'm reading Testy's thing right, if a thing is, then it is. Yeah, like if that's all you're saying, then it's like sure, but that's why I kept calling it a
God's will is
tautology.
fixed, and even God can't change it.
How God is unchanging and eternal? Of course, God can't change God's will.
How is God unchanging and eternal? Like you see a very different God. Hold on. You see a very different God from the Old Testament versus the New Testament. Like you can see that there is a shift.
Well, I don't believe in the New Testament.
Oh yeah, he's a blue
so
jay.
wait. Do you think we should still sacrifice animals to atone for our sins like they did in the Old Testament?
Yeah, that's why he wants the third temple built, Avery.
Well, when the third temple built,
yeah, that is what he believes. Yeah,
that's insane.
When the third temple is built, yeah, but the third temple isn't going to be built until the Messiah comes.
Okay, so you do
already
realize the
missed
logic
brother,
behind that,
or
Kurt?
non-binary
We're gonna have to
sibling.
sacrifice.
It was
We're gonna
already
have
here.
to sacrifice hundreds of millions of animals every single day to atone for our
Well,
sins.
Avery,
Do you not
that's
see how
why
that's
the
not
war in
sustain-
Iran.
You see how
Avery,
that's not
that's what
sustainable?
Avery. That's what the war in Iran is, to sacrifice the goyim, because they just view us as animals.
Check out.
That's not what that is. That's not what that is. It's about oil and about limiting China's fucking what's it called, influence within the region.
Oh, it's more than that.
That's
It's
what
been
that
going on
shit
for
is.
thousands of years.
No, I
I
know,
believe
but I think that's what it's about right now. Because I don't know. I think World War III is about to pop off, and Europe's trying to hold off Russia. Israel's probably going to have to hold off the Middle East. We're going to have to hold off the Pacific. We can't fight a war on 3 fronts. It's not going to happen. Our military's not equipped for it. So, I don't know.
Excellence
That's
goes
my
off.
perspective on that. Then again, Tyler probably disagrees with me, so.
At that point, we
Everyone
wouldn't,
probably does for that
we wouldn't need to
matter.
worry about it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just
That's what I
like
kind of
said,
think. That's why we're so gung-ho Israel right now, because we're not going to be able to control the Middle East, like, by ourselves and fight a war in the Pacific. Give me a sec. I can still hear y'all.
Confluence. Do you think God can will a contradiction?
No, I guess no, and that's what I basically, I guess, asking is you're almost defining free will as something that's just on its face logically impossible, right? So it would be
Return
like
free
if you
will,
asked
yes,
me,
yes.
like, can God do a sin? I would say, well, no, even though God's all powerful, that contradicts with his nature, so I don't think God can sin. I don't think it's kind of like, or asking, can God make a rock so big he is unable to lift it, or a pizza pop so hot that he's unable to eat it, you know?
Well,
It's
God-
like, well, I would
yes.
say it's not a limitation of his omnipotence, right?
Yeah,
It's just
so
logically impossible.
we both agree God can't will a contradiction. What I'm saying is libertarian free will is a contradiction because it's saying what will be won't be, or what will be can't be in some circumstances. Like I didn't know how else to phrase it.
Like,
God is all knowing. God knows the future. So how can the future be any different from what God knows the future to be?
I guess the part I'm balking at, like, yeah, if again, what I think you're saying is not super helpful because it just is one big tautology. But if I accept the tautology, fine. Like, and then I don't disagree with the tautology, of course, because it's tautological. I just don't really adds much substance. But then where I think my like hackles are still getting up, where it's like, then when I ask you just like the practical question, like, could God have like placed one more piece of matter at the Big Bang or something, or I don't know how the Big Bang works, but you know what I mean? Could he have made it so that the world had one more, you know, I don't know, joule of energy in it? And you're like, no, that's impossible. Even God couldn't have made, and that does seem to be limiting God's like omnipotence at that point. And if it seems to be true, and we have no reason to think otherwise,
Kurt must be happy that they're
conservatism, then we ought to accept it.
Kurt must be happy that they're putting a Moloch statue in Massachusetts after they
I'm
got
not.
the right to abort up to almost time for birth.
That's disgusting. No.
Ew.
I don't know. You are a Blue Jay.
Kirk's at
I'm
least
pro-life.
anti-abortion, yeah.
I don't think abortion should be allowed in any circumstance except the life of the mother.
His one redeeming quality.
What about great?
Even rape, you should not
Blue
murder a
Jays
child.
putting-
You should not murder a child
Blue Jays
because the mother
believe
was
in
raped. It's not the
sacrificing
child's
the
fault.
baby to Moloch. Giant calf.
Random Books official, how's it going?
I really think you should read. Spinoza has really good arguments against free will, or at least libertarian free will. I really think you should read some Spinoza.
Yeah, it's just from my, like, I think I should. I don't disagree, but just the way people talk about, you know, the God of Spinoza, it just doesn't sound like what I think at all by God. So I feel like I'd have to accept like his definition, which is just like radically different. And if I was to accept his stuff, then sure. Who's the Random Books official? Why is he called? Is anyone new here just call me gay, or do I know Random Books official? It's just like a known thing that we're just gonna.
No, we just
call me
yes,
gay?
it is. It's a very known thing.
Or is this
Confluence.
someone I know?
Deal
Easy
with it.
thing to judge.
Confluence, not gay. Not gay, to be clear.
I don't know. The chat seems to put gay fluence.
I see you putting gay fluence.
Awesome.
Confluence plays Mario because he sucks at chess. Oh, this is Anson. Oh, of course. I don't know why I didn't. Of course, this is Anson.
Yeah, what's
I don't
up?
know why I didn't realize that's Anson.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If I don't know how you could accept my quote unquote tautology and then disagree with me. Like, if you accept what I'm saying is true, then what does it mean that you disagree with me? Like, that is a contradiction. You're saying you agree with me that. How do I put this? You agree with me that you can't do anything other than your highest order desire, at least under some definition, and yet you're still saying that you can do something different. Like,
yeah,
what
because
is
first of all, I'm only agreeing with that under like a possible view of compatibilism that I'm saying I'm not sure if I agree with, but the idea that we are God and that's how that we made these choices. I still think we made these free choices though. Like that's the key point of my thing. I'm still saying we made these choices. It was just like outside of our like present incarnation, right? And so then
no, I
so
know, but even then, what I'm saying is, for whenever you made the decision freely, on what basis did you make the decision? And you still haven't really answered the question. You just said it's kind of arbitrary. Well, that's random, and randomness is not freedom.
No, I said no. I just gave my randomness example is just one example. I think in our current incarnation that to me shows that at least on its face, without adding a bunch of unprovable things like what I'm doing and saying that we're all like a part of God and that's how we did it, and I have to punt outside of incarnation. But I think and just bare reality. That's just one example. I think we can see that it would be absurd to call that a part of our desire. And it would also be equally absurd to say that it is truly random and it's not me that's choosing to raise my left or my right hand. Like it seems like you're left with those two options and both to me just seem absurd, I guess.
I know, but you haven't provided a third option. You just said, well, you do it, and I agree you do it. And no one is saying you don't make the decision. No one is saying that.
Well,
of course, you make the decision.
You said with the random stuff, then I'm not the one really making the decision. Didn't you say that?
I mean, you're the one.
So I can make a random decision. I thought this whole thing was you're saying I can't.
You're also the one. Requiring a third.
You can make a random decision, but your random whim is going to determine your decision. So even in that circumstance, you can't volitionally choose between multiple options.
Okay, so it sounds like you're not. It sounds different than what you were saying before. Before you were saying if I was to pick a number randomly, then it's not really me making the decision. It's like some other, it's randomness, and I can't like claim that it was my choice.
Yeah.
Am I getting off soon? Not an untoward way, in a normal way? No, yeah, I'm getting off in like 5 minutes in an untoward way and in a normal way.
Oh, you're a little bitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Bitch.
I mean, we can leave it for tonight. It's just like I just don't get it. You accept, you believe, and you admit that whatever you do is going to be according to what you want to do the most, right? So even when I
don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Okay, then what do you do?
I already gave the Odysseus example where I think that like already shows that like what we mean by highest desire already gets fucked, and you didn't really have a good answer to the Odysseus example. I'm sure some exist, but you're not able to clarify, is his strongest desire when he's tied to the mast? Is his strongest desire before when he made the decision? Is it temporal? Is it like the strength of the desire?
No.
No, you read more books about, non-free will and stuff. Yeah.
No, I answered this. I said the highest order desire is the highest order desire in the moment.
So
that's what I said.
What and the highest order desire, you don't mean the strength of the desire. Because Odysseus would have chosen to untie himself from the mast in that moment if he could have, right? He just didn't have that option to. But that is what he wanted. He knew that would be his strongest desire, so he used the temporal loophole to not choose his strongest desire in the future by choosing what he knew was a lesser desire, but ultimately a higher desire in like the moral sense, but not the higher in the sense of strength. Like I feel like it gets. Do you see the confusion that I feel like I'm coming to here?
The highest order desire is the highest desire you have to make your next decision. That's it.
Higher as in power, as in strength of like the puissance of the desire, like how powerful it seems, or on what you're like some idealized true self would choose, or like what?
It's this. What do you mean by strength?
Well,
it's the highest.
So with Odysseus tied to the mast, right? On one hand, right, he's divided, right? He got his sailors to tie him to the mast for a reason, because he doesn't want to choose that option, but he knows he will be incapable because he'll hear the siren song, and in that moment, his strongest desire will be to jump into the sea. But it's not his highest desire, right? It's not, like, at least in a moral sense, what he thinks is ultimately best. That's why he gets the sailors to tie him to sea. That's why he gets them to put beeswax in their ears.
I accept that. I accept it. So your highest order desire that you can actualize in the moment.
Highest order in what way? You're still not answering that question.
Okay. It's
Define
the desire,
highest order.
It's the desire that you want to do the most that you can actualize.
So, like, want in an emotional sense.
If you don't know what want means, and are we even having the same conversation?
I'm asking, want in an emotional sense? Do you mean the strength of the emotions? Do you mean the strength of some, like, higher will? Do you mean, like, because I'm sure there'd be a part, you can imagine yourself being in a situation of temptation. Let's say there's like a woman at your chess club and she's really cute and stuff. And maybe part of you, the Noahide, right? You don't want to do this, but like your emotions, maybe your body, all of this, you're like, this is what I want to do. But then there's some part of your mind that's like, no, but I ought not. So is it just the one you end up choosing? Because the strongest desire from an emotional point of view, or from like a body point of view, is probably like the desire that you might not end up choosing, right? There's going to be some struggle, right, between like the desire of like the flesh, to use like some New Testament terminology, right, and like what you think is like your like more like non-cocked desire, to use Confluence definitions now.
What I'm saying is, whatever decision you're going to make is going to be whatever one compels you the most.
Right, but see, now we're back to question begging. So when you say a highest desire, yeah, that's what we're just going to be looping, because then you don't actually mean anything when you say highest order. All you mean ever when you say that is you just mean the one you end up picking. That's all you actually mean. You don't mean the one that's the strongest emotionally. You don't mean some idealized higher self. You just mean whatever one you ended up picking. You're defining that as the highest order desire. So that's fine, but it's just like not, it doesn't add like any information. You're not like, well, why even say that? You're adding words that make it sound like you're actually saying something meaningful, but you're just saying the highest order desire is just the one you end up choosing. That's all it sounds like to me.
I think you just.
And then you can put that back to the syllogism, and you're basically just saying the thing you end up choosing is the thing you end up choosing, because you're choosing according to your highest order desire, and your highest order desire is the thing you ended up choosing. So therefore, the thing you end up choosing is the thing you end up choosing. And of course, I don't disagree on that. The thing you end up choosing is the thing you ended up choosing.
Well, you're right. It's kind of circular, but that's because it's kind of like an axiom. It's like saying things are going to be what they're going to be is an axiom. So it's
that's
like, yes.
Right, but then it's like well, then.
Hansen,
but then are you just
like
saying,
Hansen choosing Kirk's stepmom?
Are you saying axioms are not meaningful? Because of
they can be disagreed with, first of all, right? Axioms can be disagreed with, and they can't also be proven or disproven. So it's like, if you want me to fight, if you're agreeing it's an axiom, then I can't really give my counter argument for what you're defining as an axiom. I definitionally cannot do that. As Leshiv says, yeah, do people not act intentionally to deny what they're compelled to do? Is everyone goon all day? This is kind of my point, but Kirk seems to just be redefining just highest desire as just the thing you end up doing. It could be for like any of the reason.
Okay, fine. Oh, I think Brandon's right here. I'm just going to drop the high order desire talk. The desire that you're going to act on is the desire that you want to act on the most.
Yeah, and Tessie, I'm not saying the axioms are circular, but I don't know if that was to me or...
in the sense that they are circular in the sense that hold on, they are circular in the sense that you can't prove or disprove them. So if you accept them and they justify themselves, then they are self-justifying in that sense. So they are circular in that sense.
Well, no, they're not circular. They're axiomatic, right? If we think of, not to really trigger Brandon, when we're talking about Agrippa's trilemma, right? The circularity one is different from the axiomatic one. I can't remember what they're all called, but oh yeah, Kirk said that. Yeah, I would say those things are different things, right? I think Agrippa's trilemma shows that. If you're at reductionism is one of them, and then foundationalism, what's the third one? I can't remember, but those things. Oh, then circular. Oh, coherentism, right? And foundationalism are different things, right? And so if you're saying axioms are circular, then I don't think that's correct.
So do you think libertarian, do you think the fact that you could, or at least in the past you could have done otherwise, is that an axiom for you?
No, I think in the past I could have done otherwise. My only way that I would
Yes, it's an
agree.
axiom. No. Is an axiom or not? That doesn't answer my question. Is it an axiom? Yes or no? That doesn't answer my question, Confluence.
Wait, how does that not answer your? I'm literally in the process of answering your question.
Is it an axiom? If your answer is yes, it's yes, and if the answer is no, it is no. You haven't said the words
Please keep
yes
doing
or
what
no.
you're doing, Confluence.
I don't.
Please
I
keep
don't.
doing what you're doing.
I can't answer this without saying more. Like, I don't know what you
Wow,
want
Kurt
from me.
Fluence made you bitch fluent.
No,
yes,
I can't answer without saying more. I'm saying, because it's not like I have a set position on if it's axiomatic, especially depending on, like I said, if it's true that I'm going into like the compatibilist framework that I said before, that we're all God, then I would say that in that case it would be an axiom for me. If I'm not going there, then I wouldn't say it's an axiom for me, right? So it's not like I have this set in stone if it's like axiomatic or not. If that makes sense. Now, I would agree with some of the stuff you're saying, like if you are just making it like the statement that came out before, that you will do just what you will do, that what you choose to do, you will have chosen to do, then I would say I don't even know if I would say that's axiomatic. I think that's just like, that's a tautology. I don't even think that's an axiom, right? An axiom is like a proposition or whatever that you can't reduce further and you can't like justify it or anything, right? It's like a starting point, but that wouldn't be a starting point. That would just be like, that would just like stem naturally, I think, from like at least like the laws of classical logic, right? If you believe those, then you'd believe that what you end up doing is what you ended up doing.
Bitch fluent.
So you're saying you don't know if it's an axiom or not?
I already gave my fucking answer.
No, you didn't. Is it an axiom? It's a yes or no question.
Oh my god, I'm not wasting effort. If you didn't listen to me like the first time, and then you were not very polite in asking the second time, and you still didn't listen, I'm not repeating it a third time. Oh, what's that fire line from the Canis debate? I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you, Kirk. Okay? I can't understand it for you.
So the answer is yes, it's an axiom. Okay, got ya. Yes, it's an axiom, right?
Wow, Confluence,
I
you lost
already
the chat there.
I didn't hear your answer. I didn't hear your answer.
I already said it twice. I'm not gonna say it a third time, okay? Especially when you're getting aggro and demanding
I'm just clarifying. It's an axiom if you accept the belief that we are eternal.
If we are a part of God and we choose our incarnation, then for me, yes, then it would be an axiom at that point.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, so I'm just restating to clarify. But I'm currently unsure. That's just like one of my hypotheses. If that's not true, and we live in a more like traditionally understood like classical theist point of view, then it wouldn't be an axiom for me. So that's kind of my answer.
I mean, I just think you can never concede that I'm right. Like, no matter how good my arguments are.
Oh my god, Kirk, you're so fucking arrogant, dude.
How is that
This is why it's so hard to talk to you.
I thought I made it pretty simple there. I'm giving you I have two possible explanations for the universe. One's like a classic theist one, one's a heresy one. They involve different axioms, right? That's what I'm saying.
You're always right, Kirk. You're always right. Do you feel better now?
That's fine. I'm not talking about that specifically. What I'm saying is, all this night I've been making this argument against free will, and none of it you've conceded on. You just said, "Well, it's tautological."
Yeah, well, I don't think you've been making good arguments, Kirk. I'm not gonna like put on the kid gloves here. Like, I just don't think you've been. I'm not trying to like go out of my way to disagree with you. I just don't think you've been making compelling arguments. I feel like I've been pretty honest. I'm not like being rude to you or anything. I'm not going out of my way to like disagree for disagreement's sake.
And Confluence is the only one that doesn't bully Kurt. And then he's mogging you.
But we do have a hard out because we're way past Confluence's bedtime. This has been a good talk though. I have enjoyed this.
All right, let's all stay back here and talk shit about Confluence. You're welcome to join.
That's allowed.
Yeah,
that's allowed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 07s. Thank you, K2 and to Sticker Johnson for the super chats. God bless you, chat. And see you guys tomorrow, which is trivia. What's the topic again? Does anyone remember? Big
You
Soda,
don't
are you
even know
still
the
here?
topic of your next show.
I can't remember what Rage Page said because I let Rage Page. She has full creative
Hey,
control over the
that last
trivia.
chat by Anson, you should read.
I will not be
before you
reading
head
that
out.
last chat. I will not be seeing it. But I can't remember what it was now. And Big Soda is not answering me, so. Oh, Big Soda's not here, that's why. Okay, well. There will be trivia tomorrow. I just don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be good. See you guys tomorrow.
I don't